These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Buys a 8 by 12 4-bit room. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road.
Two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 61 of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlin Wells, alongside host Nathan Fulsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How are you, bud?
You know.
One of these fucking times.
Yeah.
One of these times, you're going to be like, I'm having a great day.
Yeah. You know, though, you get enough of those great days in a row, I'm just not going to show up anymore. I'm doing cool shit, you know. That's for both of us. Eventually, it's like, oh, some people are outside in the sun and getting exercise and hanging out with loved ones, making connections with new people. They don't sit in the dark talking about a show that hasn't been relevant in 25 years. We dig too deep. We're not going to like what we find, Marlin.
Well, man, if you want to fucking go out in the sun, you go out in the sun.
I can't handle that.
Well, then shut the fuck up.
That window has closed. What I'm saying is you should appreciate my slow decline into just a malaise-filled existence.
Oh, I do. I've been enjoying it this whole time.
Watching you slowly gelatinize on my couch.
Yeah. Like watching a fucking crisp apple go soft. Too real?
Brother, no. I am getting red cheeks from the, I can't believe I was ever once considered a crisp apple. I have been mush for pretty much my entire adult life.
Oh, man. Brother, I just took a nice long road trip this past weekend. Took a nice 4-day road trip out to go to a wedding. Just made a fucking 4-day weekend out of it. And I gotta tell you, I fucking drove for nearly 1,000 miles before finding a gas station bathroom that was not in such a state of disrepair that I was okay dumping in it.
Oh my God! Like,
what is wrong with society?
I don't know, bro.
Every fucking from Fargo to Wyoming to Denver to Omaha, Nebraska, I got all the way back up to Sioux City, Iowa before finding a bathroom where I'm like, yeah, I can shit in this and it would be fine.
Man, I know, and I have taken some shits and some truck stop crime scenes, man. Like, oof. Where you try all 4 doors, there's no winner. It's all fucking duds. It's like, let's make a deal, and there's no deals to be had. The deal is, do I shit in a sink?
Everyone I stopped at just fucking clamp shut and hope for more on the next time around.
I am in a state physically where it is choose your own adventure. None of these, they all end in tragedy. And as been discussed before, I do not have the hamstring strength to hover. I have to create a seal. I'm dropping anchor. Oh.
You'll pull a hammy trying to hover.
Ever have your fucking tip of your dong hit the edge of the toilet?
Oh, absolutely.
And you know that's just pure poison.
Oh, yeah.
It's just covered in filth.
Yeah.
Like,
the head of your dong's definitely turning black by the end of the day.
Black cap of pure HPV.
Like frostbite. You've seen frostbite.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh.
Every fucking bathroom for 1,000 miles. Just opening doors like, did somebody fire a fucking pot of coffee out of a t-shirt cannon in here? What the hell is happening?
Yeah, I don't like the spray height of the diarrhea sometimes is like
unreal.
Either my asshole is in a different position than some people's, or they are shitting while standing.
Right. Are you 11 feet tall? How did... Jesus Christ.
Did you lean over to pick up a quarter and just shit yourself? Like, oh, look. Wheat penny. Boom. I'm going to let a duck bomb off of that Flying J men's room.
Fucking unbelievable. Just like fucking moseying into a fucking bathroom in like Belfouche, South Dakota. Just like, oh God, what fucking crime scene? What? Somebody throw a fucking bowl of brownie batter into a ceiling fan? What is going
like a
on?
baker that was in a hurry that was like mixing up like
Like the Swedish chef.
Yeah. Slipped on a rubber chicken, all the brownie batter goes everywhere.
Like, I don't blame the workers for not cleaning. I blame whatever is wrong with America that they're comfortable just putting the fucking axe and smash on these roadside bathrooms and walking away with clear consciences.
We as a society have to accept something, that if your body is in a certain state of disrepair, you've lost indoor shitting privileges. They should just dig a trench. Listen to this. I think this would work.
Okay.
You dig a trench. You can't just have people lay in a shit trench. So what you do is you just build a very basic fence on the edge of the trench. You have a rope hanging. What you do is you get on the edge of the ledge, drop trowel, grab the rope, lean back, and then you just spray your poison, and then you just fucking scoot across the ground like a sick dog. You haven't got toilet paper privileges yet. And then you pull up your pants and jump in your car. You fucking eat normal. You can go shit like normal people. If your poop looks like a cartoon poop and not fucking coffee, then you can fucking shit inside.
And like, by all means, have diarrhea in this gas station. But a toilet is not a hard thing to fathom.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was just like, what the fuck? I want vaccination passports and diarrhea passports. Yeah. Like, I want you to take a fucking diarrhea spit test outside of every fucking gas station bathroom.
Oh,
because I saw altogether like 1,300 miles of America and didn't care for any of it.
And I have ever been shitting in a truck stop or something, and the guy next to you is literally dying. It's like just like muffled sobs and just like full body retching, and like it sounds like they're shitting a chess set into the toilet. It's like, what is that? It sounds like false teeth hitting porcelain. Like, what is inside you that's that solid, but it's so small and there's tons of it? Like,
just like a fucking grocery bag full of aquarium gravel. Dude, are you okay? But by the time I finally found one, God bless you, the fucking BP in Sioux City, Iowa, that had the people of Sioux City shitting like humans. Good for them.
It's funny. I have been through Belfouche in the last 2 weeks. There was 2 gas stations on each side of the road. The first one, there was a line 8 deep to go defile the toilet. On the way back, on the one in the next, there was literally no one there, to the point like, oh, that can't be open. Walk in. There was a bathroom so clean, I would have done yoga on the floor. Like, I was like, okay, like, is this open to the public? Do we need a membership? Like, go shit your brains out, bud. It's all
the
you.
Executive
Yeah,
toilet?
exactly. Like, I was like, this is, like, I didn't want to get out of that bathroom. Like, this is living.
I laid on the floor. I took a nap. Yeah, just unbelievable what people are doing to America's gas station bathrooms.
Maybe try to shit more often. I don't know if that'll even help. They're just poison factories.
It fucking didn't help me, like, because I had to go the whole day then until I get to my hotel at the end of the night, and then fucking put the hotel toilet in a Cobra clutch.
Oh my God. I took a shit one time in Manville, North Dakota, in the small town Senex station that I remember, like, people walked in while I was in the stall, made a real loud guttural noise, and just immediately left. And this is not like a truck stop. This is a mom and pop. This is where, you probably have like an agronomy center attached to it. Like, this is not meant for strangers to shit in. Like, I don't know if the door locked, that's small. It's like a household bathroom. And I haven't been back to Manville. It's a little town by Grand Forks, North Dakota. Jesus, that was a hate crime shit. Like, it's like, this guy did not like us.
They for sure have your picture printed off behind.
Or someone's written a folk song about it. Like the time large man came to town. Like,
you're the Kennesaw Mountain Landis of that town.
Holy moly, that was rough. My friends were, did you fall asleep in there? Like, brother, I was on the edge of my seat. That was like an IMAX movie shit. Like,
brother, quite the opposite.
Yeah, I've never been more awake. It was do or die. Oh man, like, that was.
Oh God.
A lower GI breech birth is what that was.
Fucking America's got to get their assholes right.
Yeah. Oh.
I did travel through nothing but red states, so maybe there's something to that.
Yeah, could be. That's true. I
Traveled
wonder.
through nothing but brown states is what I did.
Oh, do you think a New Jersey gas station shitter's
Probably
the
not.
picture help?
Probably not. Judging by Bruce Springsteen's music, absolutely not. I bet the E Street Band is dropping some real horror dumps.
Yes, Clarence, the sax player, that guy, R.I.P. That dude is taking some heinous road
Hell, the
dog
boss
shits.
himself, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's probably so healthy now. His turds look like something that would give you energy on a Sonic game. Like, these little energy pellets. Like, they run his tour bus off them.
just doubles right into the carburetor. No, we're just skipping the bathrooms now. That man's gonna live forever.
Yep.
Holy shit.
God, yeah, I need to see him live. Just heard on the way here that Rolling Stones are going to attempt to tour this fall, and Bill Watts has he has to bow out. He's the drummer. He's 80 years old.
Well, you got to fucking dip out when you're 80? Well, I thought you were a rock star.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Like, what a weird world to live in where you're getting peer pressure to play drums when you're 80.
Right. Good for him for being like, no.
I can't. And I think he wants to. He just can't. Like,
course.
he has to recoup at home. But, like, I got to see those guys. I'm going to miss them.
Yeah, that's all you. You got this. Not really my bag. Fucking pour one out today for beautiful Bobby.
I saw that.
Man, that's a bummer.
Yep, that's too bad.
Yeah,
I always think a testament to Bobby Eaton is the fact that he made it as he was a mid-card guy in WCW pretty into the mid to late 90s. Mm-hmm. He did not look like what they wanted a wrestler to look like in 1997.
Right.
But he was so goddamn good in the ring, and he's just such a good person that, like, I'm sure the boys were like, we can't. Why would we get rid of him? He does everything right.
Yeah.
You know, like, do you think Ted Turner was salivating to cut a check for Bobby Eaton? You know, like, he should have been doing Ted Turner's yard work. Like, oh, he's on air? Why? Like,
that's not a roadie?
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, holy yeah.
Good on him for doing that goddamn top rope leg drop all those years and not getting fucking put in a goddamn wheelchair. That has to be the worst thing for your body.
That's what Bobby Eaton did?
Oh, yeah. That fucking top rope leg drop? Absolutely.
Like as a solo wrestler?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know. I didn't know he had reached a level where he had a solo finisher. Mm-hmm. Oh, no kidding. What was
I don't know that it was always a finish, but it was a signature for sure.
Interesting. From the top turnbuckle or mid buckle?
Top turnbuckle.
No shit. I had no idea. Only guy I remember seeing do that was that Fandango.
Oh, yeah.
He did a top turnbuckle leg drop. Yeah, that's can't be good
just
for you.
Kill your back. Oh. That's what broke Hulk Hogan's back, and he did it from standing.
The ground.
Yeah.
And then as the Midnight Express, they kind of did like a flapjack type, like use the rope. Like what they kind of. I'm trying to think what the Midnight's finisher was.
Oh man, those early like Smoky Mountain and all that like pre Monday Night Wars is so fuzzy for me.
Yeah. I think they one of them put the bad guy, or they put their victim, I don't know the wrestling parlance, opponent.
There you go.
Like either their arms and head were over the rope, the other one held up their legs, and I don't know if a guy jumped over the guy and landed on his back, or some kind of slingshot. I just remember them people hitting their necks on the rope or something like that. Like,
gotcha.
Someone right now was at home screaming.
Yeah,
they used a double Boston Crab.
Son of a bitch.
It was nothing like that.
Someone is sending this clip to Jim Cornette right now.
Yeah. Listen to these Philistines sully the good name of Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, we're gonna get fucking tennis racket up our ass.
Have you heard that lunatic congresswoman from Colorado? Not Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's the lunatic congresswoman from North Carolina. The other one. That her mother claims that lady's biological father is Stan Lane of Midnight Express.
Oh.
That Stan Lane had a one-night stand with her. He was 33. She was 19. And that's how this Congress lady was created.
Gross.
So, yeah. Stan Lane. Wrap it up. Quit making knucklehead congresswomen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. Good to see Stan Lane's name out there. I think Stan Lane was one of those guys that kind of got into wrestling, saved his money, checked out, which is so rare.
Yeah, didn't have some wild fucking drug addiction that got out of hand.
Yeah.
got paid and got out.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I bet Stan Lane's wrecked a few gas station bathrooms in his day.
Or he's weirdly healthy. Like I think that was his thing too. Like
Sure.
he was one of the guys that actually cared about what he ate and stuff, like, and which makes thinking back to like my memory of 1989 era Stan Lane is very foggy, but kind of like trim, not just thick muscles. Just he was kind of
not sinewy but lean.
Yeah. How did some of those guys stay so? There's some of those guys like Rick Rude. They must have paid attention to what they ate, or were they cranking so many amphetamines that their heart was just beating like a fucking racehorse at all times?
Well, from what I understand, Rick Rude was just a weed guy. He never was much of a coke guy or an amphetamines guy.
I know he was.
I'm sure he was on the gas to hell
he was
and back.
He was on so many steroids. I think was notoriously paranoid and like flip out for no reason and shit like that.
I've heard that about Randy Savage.
Yeah, I think the Steiner brothers too. I think they were just dicks too. Like they were just looking for trouble.
I don't know that there's any proof Scott Steiner's ever done steroids.
Yep. Remember at peak Scott Steiner muscles? There was a time his bicep was growing another bicep on top of it.
It had a peak that he would kiss. It was like pointed.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to, you could crack a walnut shell on top of that thing.
I remember some wrestler trying to make the argument that Scott Steiner's not on steroids, and that's why his muscles look different. I was like, that cannot be true.
He's on more than anybody. And
that's why
his
it looks different.
Look different.
He is. Yeah, he's reaching levels of chemical fucking. His body is a science experiment. Depending on what you think a human body should look like, either gone right or gone wrong.
Also, at his base, he is not to use his own parlance, but a genetic freak.
Yeah,
like he started at. This guy is capable of insane muscle growth.
Yep.
And then piled all the gas on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look, in his fucking long-haired wrestling in a singlet fucking Steiner Brothers days, even back before all the steroids, he was the size of a fucking monster truck.
Yeah. Well, the reason that he was able to play D1, he'd be D1 amateur wrestler.
Yeah.
He had the build. I'd say almost any human body, if you crank enough steroids into it and do enough exercising, enough weightlifting, you're going to get big. But some guys are just designed to get big in a hurry.
What do you think Rick Steiner's doing right now?
I don't know.
Old dog-faced gremlin.
Yeah. See, I liked early, like late 80s, early 90s. Rick Steiner was kind of played as like this childlike, lovable oaf kind of.
Lovable idiot.
Yeah, it could be tricked. He got tricked by a woman.
Oh,
went on to marry Chris Benoit. I don't know if you heard how that ended, but
I haven't.
There's a documentary about it.
Why don't you explain it in detail right now?
See, head injuries are very hard to understand, but we're learning things about CTE and can lead to paranoia.
I'm sure you've seen it. That fucking Dark Side of the Ring two-parter about Benoit is real rough.
Yeah. Yeah. If your workplace calls upon you to do flying headbutts, start doing DoorDash or something else. Find something else.
Drive Uber.
Yep.
Uber's super evil too.
Yeah.
So
Fine.
Lyft is Lyft better.
Yeah. Just don't headbutt if you can avoid it. It's proving.
That's good just in general.
Yeah.
Try not to headbutt people.
Yeah, it's not going to pay off.
What is paying off is season 14 of The Simpsons. I don't know where you stand, but I was pretty hot on this batch.
Oh, really? I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't have big laughs, but I enjoyed it enough.
Yeah. I thought it was better than it has been, maybe is how I should put it. I don't want to give the impression that I was like fucking doing Arsenio Hall woo 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 while I'm helicoptering my penis at the television. Like that's not what was going on. But I thought it was a good batch. That batch 11 through 15.
We're starting with episode 11. It's Barding Over. We get a different chalkboard gag. This is the one where like he doesn't even really start writing anything, but he just takes an axe to the chalkboard.
Yep, and destroys the chalkboard.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I'm assuming that they wanted to do something different or off the wall for their 300th episode, which they bill this as.
Okay.
Even though they make a joke later that it's not actually their 300th episode.
And the episode kind of starts with them doing its spring cleaning time.
Yeah.
Marge is excited that eventually they're in the garage. We do get a really good gag about a bunch of the old Furbies are going feral. You have Maggie cornered.
I wrote that down as well. That's so good. They're just chirping at Maggie. They got her surrounded.
Yeah. Bart and Lisa find a bunch of old home movies. So we kind of, this is going to be the crux of the storyline. They're going to find a movie that shares some shocking revelation.
I wasn't sure what the joke was going to be, but seeing the label like Marge and Homer get dirty, it's like, okay, what's this going to, because it's not going to be what you think it is.
Yeah.
I do love, though, that Bart, that's what he thinks. He thinks it's his parents' porno tape. So when he finds it, he turns to Lisa and goes, "Hey, Lisa, think you're well adjusted? I've got something for you." What the hell, man?
That was good. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And I also like, too, they just find a tape of just like rerun TV shows. There's an episode of Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
Which that may be a little bit before your time.
Yeah. Honestly, all I know of Larry and Belky is from episode 1 of America's Barley Basket, where you decided that's what my toy rocks that I grew up with would have been named.
It was, I'm pretty sure Perfect Strangers was part of the original ABC TGIF lineup.
Okay.
Because right away, they didn't go for as much family. I mean, not that this was like a risque show, but it was about a 30-something like Manhattanite whose crazy cousin moves in. So it's not like there was no kids, you know what I mean? But eventually it became a family-friendly, almost everyone was involved, a family, or it was about a kid. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Then you had Step by Step. You had Family Matters, Full House. So it was every one of those had kids in it. So
yeah, I watched a little Full House as a youth, but not fucking much.
It's the nostalgia that draws people, but it was just syrupy, saccharine nonsense.
Yeah, I was much more of a Blossom man myself.
Oh, really? See, that was Monday nights, I think, on NBC.
I thought that Blossom's friend, the neighbor character, was real good looking.
Janessa Van Oy.
Apparently so. Yeah. Apparently she's pretty memorable to you, too. I can't even pull the character's name.
6.
Blossom's friend.
The character was 6. The actress was Vanessa, or something Van Oy. I just remember Van Oy is a weird last name. And I think she was in like a FHM Maxim knockoff magazine at one time. Like I was like, they're really digging for celebrities that'll
we're really broadening that
will be
definition.
scantily clad. Yeah. Hell of a set of cakes on her. If that's something you appreciate in the female form.
I love cake.
There we go.
Big fan of cake. I'll frost a cake today.
So they are digging through videos, and then again, the main plot point is Bart finds out that he was once a child actor in commercials. He's I can't think of the name of what he plays.
Baby Stink Breath, I think it is.
Baby Stink Breath. Like they hook some kind of like things to his face that alter his DNA to make his breath smell better. Yep. And he's like, holy, I can't believe it. Like, yeah, you made quite a bit of money off that. But it turns out Homer burnt all that money.
Of course he did.
Kind of like, it was basically he had to use it to fix something that he did wrong in the first place.
Yeah, typical Homer shit.
Yeah.
We get maybe my favorite line of the episode at this point, where Bart is strangling Homer with his own belt, and I think it's Marge pops in and says, "The larynx is not a plaything."
Yeah. Because it's like right away he's choking him with his hands, and Homer's like, "Don't worry, he can't hurt me with those tiny hands." Yeah. He just takes Homer's belt off.
Yanks his belt off and chokes him with it.
So Bart is salty, and he ain't gonna get over this. And Homer, in his typical fashion, is just pig-headed and won't say sorry. So kind of Bart ends up, I think it'd be like becoming legally emancipated would be the term we're looking for. So there's a court hearing. We get the typical lawyer character with like the
that blue-haired Weasley lawyer
who's on Bart. He's Bart's lawyer.
Yeah, and we get the judge voiced by the mom from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yep, she's
again
kind of like a Judge Judy knockoff.
Yeah.
So the judge decrees that Homer's wages will be docked until Bart's fully paid, and Bart is now an emancipated person, so he's out on his own.
I like that during that court scene, we see the judge just doodling Homer hanging from a gallows. Like, Jesus Christ.
There's a great line, too, after the judge tells Homer what's going to happen. He just goes... I think it's like, oh, great. Half goes to, because you mentioned that his pay is going to be docked. Half goes to Bart. Half goes to my Vegas wife. What'll be left for Mo?
Yeah.
Not even worrying about the family at all.
Yeah, that's his first thought. How am I going to support Mo?
And right away, Bart's miserable because he's living in a big drafty loft with no real furniture.
I noted that I like that they portray that loft as being shitty.
Looks amazing.
Whereas today, that loft would be the most expensive loft that you could rent.
Yeah.
It's got a service elevator that goes straight to your living area. It's got exposed brick, hardwood floor. Like I was
15-foot ceilings.
Yeah, I was fucking laughing because I'm like, I love that in fucking 2002 or whenever this episode was, that this was a shithole, and now this is exactly the aesthetic I would want.
That looked a lot like the loft that Tom Hanks's character moves into in the movie Big. He lived like in a big city loft. Yeah.
I don't know that it's a reference, but that's pretty close.
So Bart is kind of miserable, and then he eventually discovers that Tony Hawk lives in and Tony Hawk lives in like a skateboard amusement park in an apartment. Like there's like, just living how a 9-year-old would picture Tony Hawk would live.
Absolutely. Like, he's got a half pipe and a rock and roll stage in his loft. Yeah, loved it.
Him and Tony Hawk become friends, and Bart kind of builds a life for himself, I guess. Kind of fill all of Homer's stuff. This is kind of coming up next year. So eventually the family, they kind of miss Bart. So especially Marge and Lisa, they want to convince Bart to move back. They go visit, and they're like, holy, look at this place.
He's got a big TV.
And Homer kind of tries to be diplomatic, but he's like, I pay for your splendor. And he starts choking it. Such a good line.
Because Homer has to keep paying him until he's essentially paid off what he made from that commercial.
And then, the classic Homer choking Bart and all this commotion. Then they kind of calm down, and Homer realizes that he like kind of genuinely apologizes and asks Bart to move back. And Bart was like, I accept that apology, but no thank you.
Why would I go back?
Yep, I'm living the dream here.
And going out on the skewed tour.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the warped tour.
Oh, that's what the reference. Oh, okay, there you go. I was trying to think, was that like a skateboard, like X Games reference thing that I don't pick up on anymore? But yeah, it's
Van's
a warped
tour.
Yep. You went to the warped tour once, right?
Once to see Riff Raff.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking 4 hours down to Minneapolis, 4 hours in the baking hot sun. Riff Raff played for 20 minutes.
I was just going to say.
4 hours home.
Oh, my God.
That's who I was there for.
Yeah.
So if you ask me, it was a hell of a good time.
Yeah, it was exactly how I planned it out in my head.
I got a Jody Husky enamel pin and fucking got to see the Peach Panther play and got out of there.
Picked up some Culvers for the ride home. It was a nice little Sunday.
Drove home with a sunburn and blue hair dye in my mohawk. Just like, all right, got to see the Versace Python, so life is good.
Dale D'Antoni?
The neon icon himself.
Rookie of the future?
The Peach Panther.
So, yeah, Bart's going to go on that tour, and Homer, like, kind of realized, oh, man, I got to do something to turn this around. So he talks to Tony Hawk about, like, hey, like, will you let me beat you in like that's the thing that's like, this is writing about skateboarding like a confused middle-aged man would.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you think skateboarding works? It's not like they're like, it's like you're side by side, whoever gets higher in the air wins, but like, well,
the like competitive skateboarding. Yeah.
So, and Tony Hawk, I mean, they make a joke about it, like, well, it'll ruin my credibility and destroy my endorsements, but sure,
Yeah, I'll help you out.
I'll help you to save this random dude's, so his son will respect him. And he's like, I got something for you. And he's got this like space age board. It's like the size of a deck of cards, and it folds into a full skateboard.
Yeah.
And I got to find the quote. He's like, this board represents the ultimate in poser technology.
Yep.
I got a kick out of that.
Like the skateboard just does its own tricks, basically. Yeah. It's an automatic skateboard.
And true to form, the board is amazing. And Tony Hawk gets salty because he's like, I said I'd let you win, but I don't want to let you embarrass me. So they do kind of like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon midair fight.
Kick fight. Yeah.
And it's pretty whatever, but like, and Homer reigns supreme with his magic skateboard. And Bart's like, I didn't not live at home because I didn't think you were better at skateboarding than Tony Hawk. I didn't want to live at home because you're a stubborn shithead, And Bart lets him know, or Homer finally kind of like levels with him and lets him know that he goofed up and that he'll never take advantage of Bart like that again. And I don't know if there's a money thing or if they just kind of forget about the money.
Well, Homer, Leslie What's-Her-Face shows up.
That's what it is, yeah.
And pitches Homer on doing an ad for Viagra Gain.
Which is for baldness and impotency.
Yeah.
Impotency. Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's a baldness and impotence drug. And he goes, well, I am bald and important, because he doesn't know what words mean.
So, and then, the agreement is that money will pay back Bart.
Yeah. And he does an embarrassing commercial so that it makes him even.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a fine episode.
I like that one a lot, actually. There was a fucking moment earlier that had me just dying when after Bart moves out and it cuts back to Homer, who is like not dealing with it well, and he has that stuffed Bart that he's throwing pitches to and then carrying around like, yay, we won.
He hits that low-hanging wire.
Yeah, and starts it on fire. Holy shit, that was funny. And then we get Bart talking to Milhouse on the phone, and Milhouse says something about like, yeah, you got to be your own man. Wait, where's Puppy Goo Goo? Mom, where's Puppy Goo Goo? And she brings in that stuffed dog.
He just immediately kind of spoons it and falls right to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, just this fucking, I love what Milhouse has become.
Milhouse
ultimate wuss.
Yeah, like he's barely a normal human anymore.
Yeah, like he's getting all the lines I feel like used to be Ralphie's lines.
Yeah.
So I'm a little sour about it, actually.
Yeah.
We need more Ralphie. But Milhouse, I love the turn that he's taken.
Yeah, like early on, he was a fairly normal kid.
Yeah, like a little nerdy.
Yeah, he was like the little, He
was kind of like Boy Lisa in the super early episodes.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, now he's just this fucking
crazy
beta.
Like, which I like. I mean, it's been a very good turn. Yeah.
Oh, Puppy Goo Goo. Yeah. God, I was dying.
And Ralphie is not even human anymore.
Right.
He's just this little feral blob.
Yeah.
Like.
We also got in that skateboard loft apartment, motherfucking Blink 182.
You're right. Yep.
Voiced by Blink 182.
Yeah.
So.
Shout out to Mark Hoppus battling cancer.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. So I think...
Is he the one who's into aliens?
No,
or is
that's
that
Tom DeLonge.
Okay.
Mark Hoppus is still in Blink 182.
Gotcha.
Tom DeLonge's the one that has nothing to do with music anymore. He's just out there.
What's Travis doing these days?
He drums for whatever incarnation of... Well, didn't they replace Tom DeLonge with one of the dudes from like Alkaline Trio?
So we've gone beyond my knowledge of emo music now.
And now Tom Barker is like the...
Travis Barker
is like the pop punk whisperer for all these new rappers who want to put out a pop punk.
I was just about to say,
he does
like,
shit like Machine Gun Kelly,
Yellow Wolf.
Yeah, and there was a young woman who put like sort of leaning towards pop punk, who was I think a fairly successful like top 40 rapper, and now he drums for her too. So like,
I feel like even his solo album from probably 10 years ago at this point was mostly hip hop.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Like
he's a fantastic drummer.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Blink-182, one of those bands too that like a member quit right as they achieved superstardom. They had a drummer before Tom DeLonge, and he was on the Dude Ranch album, which produced two fairly big. I mean, they blew up with the next album.
Right. Nothing on Dude Ranch was What's My Age Again, you know.
But I mean, they were making livings. They were on MTV. But I think that was his thing, is he saw where it was going. He's like, nope, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a rock star. I think he like went back to college and was like a fucking, I don't know, works at 3M as a chemist or something like that. Just as a normal smart person job. Like,
so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
To me. But it's crazy to me that anyone ever joins a band and doesn't eventually want to be the biggest band ever.
Yeah, or for me,
you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
See, I can see not being the biggest band ever. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, well, and the only other one I could think of someone who left a successful band just as it achieved superstardom is Gwen Stefani's brother in No Doubt.
Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of saltiness there about because I think he had been the creative force of No Doubt.
Sure.
And I think he kind of saw that was kind of getting wrestled away from him. And this is going to be like, oh,
bailed.
it's like, oh yeah, I don't even really realize that my sister is super pretty, and like she's going to be the face of the band, you know, like, and we're going to become pop stars, and like he just nope, I want to have creative control if I can't screw this, because you look at like the liner notes from Tragic Kingdom, which is the album that went on to produce a gabillion huge hits. He was like principal songwriter and all that shit.
Huh?
You know.
I never was much of a No Doubt fan. I know the hits, and that's enough for me.
I could definitely put together like a greatest hits mix.
I appreciate their super early stuff that has a little ska in it, not full ska. They're like diet ska.
Their next, and they're one of those bands too that like weirdly took forever to put up their follow-up album. It's like strike well. I mean, I think Tragic Kingdom might have went diamond or close to. It's sold close to 10 million copies.
That's fucking bonkers.
Yeah. I remember at the height of that album sale being at a very shady pawn shop in Minot, North Dakota. And he could have had a hat with lights that said juvenile delinquent. It would have been more clear what this kid was up to. He walked in and casually set down, I think like 15 of that No Doubt CD, all in the anti-shoplifting plastic, you know, the CDs used to come in? Yeah. And he pushes them on the guy, the proprietor, not just an employee, the guy that owns it, like, looks at it, give you $8. Oh, it's sold. And like, look at that. Like, and that album was hot. So like, he's going to sell these for $5, $10 each. And so I was paying for whatever trinket I bought at that pawn shop, probably like a fucking Tommy gun. The place is just selling fully automatic weapons to children during the Brady Bill era. I remember one of his dopey henchmen had a hacksaw that was just sawing through the plastic to get them out of that anti-shoplifting software.
Like you're participating in a crime at that point.
Felonies abound in that place.
You are aiding and abetting. Episode 12 is I'm Spelling as Fast as I Can. Bart is watching a fake Elvira.
Yeah.
Called Booberella.
You know, Elvira, what would like... She seems like she was more, at least in my era, I just knew her more from like advertisements.
Yep.
Like
by the time I was consuming television and things of that nature and pop culture, her show was long over, I think.
See, I wonder if she ever really, what was the show to begin with? Like,
it was Tales from the Crypt, except with Elvira. She was like a movie host.
But I wonder, was that like a local, regional LA thing? And she kind of became like a pop, like a kind of like a folk, you know, like...
I'm not sure if it...
I don't know if she ever had a network show. Like, I'd like to look at her IMDb profile. Like, what were you up to?
Yeah.
And she was in the public eye for a long time.
To this day... I know Elvira from the pinball tables.
Oh, yeah?
She has a couple very good pinball tables.
I don't know if it was her or whoever managed her career did a great job of keeping her relevant.
You ever seen Elvira? I don't know the actress's name. You ever seen Elvira
without
all the Elvira getup?
Yeah. Seems like she's really got a good head on her shoulder. She gets it, you know, like
good looking either way.
Yeah.
And yes, seems to not be a shithead.
I gotta get out there.
And that's great.
Amazing titty meat. Just top notch. Like, good for you to monetize that. Good for you. Fucking a business plan that works. She knew she had a viable product to put on the market. So
really played to her strengths.
Yeah, exactly.
And was funny. Like you watch clips of her old show, she's funny as hell.
Yeah, like if she showed up on a talk show and like they were trying to talk down to her, she could fire back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Bart's watching Elvira. We get a commercial for the Quickie Mart advertising back to school products. And then we get that insane Krusty Ribwich commercial. Because Krusty Burger has their own rib sandwich now. And holy shit, that footage of them like pouring the meat into those molds and the voiceover, I forget, I'm not going to get it exactly right, but like we start with letter graded beef and like doesn't say what letter, but that line is so good. And then we process it to hell. Like it has a very like beef, it's what's for dinner kind of vibe to it. And they're doing this in like a steel mill with these sweaty men. God, I was dying at that commercial.
Obviously this is a take on the McRib.
Yeah.
You guy that gets your
Fuck yeah, I love a McRib.
Yeah, like
I won't claim to be above it. I think it's good.
I had not had one in my life till like 3 years ago.
Oh really?
And I was like, I bet this is just trash. This is fine.
Yeah.
But like, it's definitely nothing. And you know me, I love trash food.
You do.
I could take them or leave them.
Yeah, I'm like a little hotter on them than you are. Like when they come back, I will have one. You know what I mean? I won't go there every day. I know that it's garbage.
Yeah.
Like it's just fucking styrofoam.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I like it enough to where when I see, hey, the McRib is back, I'll go get one.
Yeah. But you don't like loiter
right.
and wait till you're hungry again.
I go get one the next time I'm out, not just that moment. I'm fucking putting pants on, trying to shove tennis shoes on my feet. Oh, I gotta go.
It's sandwich time.
Stuffing my dick back in my pants.
Later, my pet. First, let's get the McRib.
First, a McRib. Skinner is opening up the school because school is back in session. He's singing a weird version of "School's Out for the Summer," except
school's back in session. Yeah, that was a nice plan.
I laughed at that. I like that Willie's off in the corner sharpening a knife, talking about how he's going to stab Skinner, and then Skinner comes over like, did you get the letter about your pay cut? God damn it, so good. I loved seeing that over the summer, all the kids are kind of, hey, how was your summer kind of shit. Nelson and Martin were friends at space camp.
Buddies.
Yeah,
he has to call him Commander.
Yeah, he calls him Commander.
Boy, we had not gotten Martin in a while.
Yeah, Martin's wearing that T-shirt of the two of them with their arms around each other.
I think this goes back to the show was way more Homer-centric than Bart-centric. So we're just not on the playground as much as we used to be.
Yeah, we don't get the kids as much as, especially the side kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's much more about Homer and the family and less about the side characters, for sure. We're having a spelling bee. Lisa is hyped. I love that Skinner's like, we're going to have a spelling bee. And Lisa's the only one who like jumps on her seat and exclaims. And then she sits down and goes, well, I guess I won't be popular this year either.
Yeah.
Love Lisa.
Were you a spelling bee kid?
Fuck yeah, I was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
still a good speller.
I was pretty good with school stuff when I was Lisa's age. But yeah, spelling bee is something I aged out of. I was always like, could make it to like the quarterfinals or semifinals, but there was a handful of kids that were really good at it. I wasn't at their level.
Yeah, I a few times, it was weird because there were so many steps to the spelling bee. Like there was like the class competition and then town and then county and then regional. And like I made it to state a couple of times, but then always choked in state.
Shout out to my buddy who was definitely listening to this podcast. I might have just Paul Bunyan this story, but I think he was such a good speller that he was always a shoo-in to make the final level so he could go to the regional. And he would eventually start just throwing the spelling bee because he didn't want to have to ride in a car with a bunch of weirdo kids.
That's fucking funny.
It's like he just Wisconsin J R ampersand. Well, that's wrong. Oh,
Not even trying to hide it.
Yeah, I don't got to ride with the dorks on a 200-mile drive to Bismarck. Oh,
steps off the stage immediately, lights a cigarette. Just a fucking skid kid.
Yeah,
that's fucking funny.
Yeah. He had the ability to spell. It was normal, I think, in every other aspect of schooling, but just had the knack for spelling.
The spelling bee is what that newspaper clipping we talked about last week of me looking like fucking Dahmer is from. With my
that was your game face. That was your spelling game face.
With my yellowed square top transition lenses.
You look like a middle-aged retired man who does fucking crop dust flights for like a part-time income. Like, gotta put these shades on, protect my eyes.
I look the way I bet Randy Quaid smells. We get Homer outside a Krusty Burger. I love the rib costume mascot dripping in barbecue sauce. And Homer walks up and he's just like, oh, I don't know. And I have the quote, I've been fooled by so many people in costumes. I love the idea of Homer just getting taken for a ride by any sales pitch as long as it's given by a mascot.
Yeah.
And then he goes in, decides to order a ribwich, and of course he loves it. So he's just standing at the counter slamming ribwiches.
I think they're definitely playing off Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, that is where that is from.
And
sure.
You think about it time-wise, too. That's right when that movie would have been in the public eye.
Yeah, I haven't seen that super sunshiny, uplifting film in a long time.
Pretty sure I've only seen it once. I mean, it's good.
That's all
it's harrowing.
anyone should ever see.
Don't need to see it again.
That's one of those I maintain everyone should see it one time, and you'll never want to watch it again. It's like Amistad that way of like everyone should probably see this. And then never again. It's not a fun watch.
Yeah, good call. I've never seen Amistad.
No, you should see it once.
Yep. Yeah, it does not sound like a date movie. Doesn't sound
there's you won't eat popcorn at all. It's not a cookie dough bites kind of movie.
I want goobers. Just ugly crying for 90 minutes during the movie.
Yeah, instead you just eat a cereal bowl full of sand.
Oh, my cookie bites are waterlogged from tears. Thanks for the fun night, Steven Spielberg.
Usually I really like to see Anthony Hopkins' face.
Yeah.
So Lisa goes on and wins the state spelling bee competition, and then Homer skips her fucking celebration so he can go to Krusty Burger and get fucking rib sandwiches.
I think we might be. I think we may have went over it. We get Barney on the sidewalk relapsed.
Yeah, I have that. That's coming up in just a second. Yeah, where apparently Barney has relapsed.
What a just completely
throwaway. Yeah, it's giving it away for free.
You have been using this for the last, I think, 3 seasons or so.
But we see him later in this batch of episodes cleaned up and still got it together.
Oh, really?
So maybe it's episodes airing out of order. Maybe they just don't care.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
That'd be depressing, but yeah, that could be.
Yeah, because I figured that eventually Barney relapses would be its own episode.
Damn right. Yeah.
But yeah, we get that when Lisa's doing her Rocky run through the city.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And she steps over a relapsed drunken Barney. Homer finds out that the ribwitch at Krusty Burger is no longer there, but he meets a bunch of rib heads who follow the sandwich to their other markets, their other test markets. We go to the Spelling Olympics, which they call the Spellympics. There's a banner hanging outside the arena that says "A Place for Dorks," which I got a good laugh out of. So we're doing the spelling competition. Lisa makes it into the top 3, so she goes on to the finals the next day, but Homer breaks her the news that he won't be able to be there because he has to go get the fucking rib sandwich.
Yeah, wonderful. A+ job.
The guy running the competition, whose name I forget.
George Plimpton.
Okay, I don't know who that is. Should I? Who's he?
Kind of an author and political commentator.
Okay.
I think he's from that era of you could just be a smart person and get invited
just
to
professionally
Gore
smart
Vidal type people.
Okay. Yeah. Is that what Neil deGrasse Tyson is today? Just professionally smart?
Yeah, but I guess he's more science, where these guys would have been more poli-sci or so yeah, but yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. That guy, George, wants Lisa to throw the competition to Alex because he's more adorable and would make a better mascot. He just wants he wants him to be the face of spelling, and he doesn't think Lisa has the charisma to be, the face of spelling. And he's willing to offer her a free scholarship to, and I wrote this down because I don't know what it is, any Seven Sisters University.
Yeah,
what is that?
Well, they rattle them off, but I was
I didn't recognize any of the universities.
Oh, really?
They rattle them off in that dream sequence that she has.
I probably recognized them all, but this is some upper crust East Coast humor.
Okay.
That's I don't know the reputation because I was those Mount Holyoke girls must know how to party the way they're making.
Yeah, because she's drunk. One of them kisses one of the other ones. Like, they clearly all have their own reputation.
But it was, definitely something that's like, oh, this is for fancy East Coast people.
Yeah.
They're like,
And in my head, like, I'm not a fucking, I don't know shit about that kind of thing. I'm a history nerd, and I'm like, aren't the Seven Sisters a landmark in Britain? Like, or Wales, maybe?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Mount Holyoke, Vassar was one. I can't even think of the other ones off the top of my head.
And I had never heard of any of these.
Yeah, a friend of mine's sister went to Vassar.
Are they all, like, Ivy League schools?
Well, not Ivy League, but...
Almost.
Private, East Coast,
Sagebrush League.
Yeah. Like, probably a lot of it is if you can't get into the Ivy Leagues, you could get into one of these if you're, if you're old
like
money.
like a backup school.
Yep, exactly, yeah.
Gotcha. So he's offering her a free scholarship to any of those if she throws the spelling bee the next day. Krusty shows up at the Krusty Burger where everyone's pigging out on their rib sandwiches and announces that they discontinued the sandwich because the animal that they used to make it is now extinct. And I love the crowd guessing, like, the pig, the cow, and he goes, think more legs and smaller. Yeah. It's funny. Homer got the last one. He's got the last rib witch, and then decides to be a good guy and trades it to somebody for his car and drives back to see Lisa compete. Lisa has her good indignant moment about, like, I was offered to throw the spelling bee and I'm not gonna, and this is fucking awful, and then spells her word wrong and loses legitimately.
Like, George Plimpton, like, eagerly points it out. It's ENC, not ANC, you fool.
Yeah. I like that before that, because they're down to 3. It's Alex, Lisa, and this other little girl, and her word is weather, and she asks, can you use it in this subject? And he's like, I'm not sure whether or not the weather will be nice. And she's like, well, shit. And then just as soon
chooses
as she
the wrong of the two. Yeah,
because it was always going to be the wrong of the two, no matter what. So she gets her word wrong and then goes back to Springfield. She's all dejected. But then she gets there and all the town folks are congratulating her because getting... second place at the National Spelling Bee is by far the best thing that's ever happened to this town. And we pan out, they've built a Mount Rushmore head of Lisa.
That I thought was dumb because in a show that prides itself in, like, continuity.
Continuity.
There you go. That's a word.
Boy, I should have let you drown for longer. Community, concubine, cauliflower.
Oh, for what you say for continuity. There we go. Are they going to have that there forever? Is there going to be a giant Lisa head? Because that's what I like. Like, I like that giant totem head is still in the basement.
Yeah, that's
I love shit like that. Like,
see, I really loved the Lisa Rushmore because it reminded me of, like, do you remember the escalator to nowhere that was their big, I think that's in the monorail episode, where it's like just this escalator that goes way up in the air and then people just fall down a pit. Like, I love that there's all these stupid landmarks in Springfield that you never see again. Yeah. Or, like, what is it? The 50-foot tall magnifying glass that starts the fire. Like, I liked it because it took me back to those silly days of Springfield.
What was the magnifying glass? What was that story again?
I don't know that it had anything to do with the story. I think it's just, do you see it briefly next to, like, the giant popsicle stick palace
That's
and it lights
it
on fire or something?
Something like that.
I'm not remembering it very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it because I'm like, that's a super dumb thing. That's great. Like, that's, Lisa's Rushmore head, I bet, is in a Simpsons video game somewhere. Like, Simpsons Hit and Run. I bet you can drive past that.
I wonder if they've ever made a modern Simpsons game that's just kicks ass, like a huge platform where you're in Springfield. Like
Hit and Run was really big, which was basically Crazy Taxi, but the Simpsons.
Yep. Yeah.
And that came out, I think, on the PS2.
Yep.
There's a mobile game that's very big called Tapped Out. That's kind of just collect resources and build buildings kind of.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, but outside of that, like, they had a couple of NES ones. Like, they had fucking Bartman. They had that arcade game,
which
Bart
I love.
versus Space Mutants.
And then there's just the Simpsons, where it's like you can play 4-up if you want.
Yeah,
I love
big
that
arcade
game.
cabinet. Yeah. I think that just recently came out in whatever that line of like 3/4 scales arcade cabinets that are coming out now. I think that one just got announced or just came out, one or the other.
That one is super fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game. You be Marge, you hit people with the vacuum.
Yep. Homer held a bowling ball.
Yep.
Lisa had a jump rope. Bart had the skateboard.
Yep.
We're up to episode 13. A Star is Born Again. Episodes begin with the Simpsons loading up a car for a trip to the beach, and I always think it's funny that just is not a childhood memory for you at all.
Not at all.
Loading up the things you need to go hang out on the beach.
No beach, no lake, no
old
beach
blanket
lake
that gets thrown on the sand. That's what your mom lays on.
No.
That's you come with your wet feet full of sand, and she hollers at you because you're getting sand all over the goddamn blanket.
Are you working through something right now?
Well, I have an old quilt of ours. To this day, if you squeeze the corners of it, you can still feel sand from sand getting kicked on it 35 years ago.
Why is this quilt so fucking heavy?
It's kind of fucking 5 pounds of lake sediment in it.
Got enough for a decent volleyball court in here. Yeah, not at all. The fucking loading up the toy pail and the toy shovel to build little sand cats. None of that.
Bringing towels and sunscreen. And
no, we didn't believe in fun.
We get a gag that references Lisa reading Modern Sandcastle magazine.
Yep.
And we're getting to a point. I mean, we're a ways away. Eventually, we're not even going to see magazine references anymore. Because we are heading in that direction where they're going to be pretty obsolete.
You think we get to a point where someone makes one and then is made fun of?
A joke.
The joke is no one has magazines anymore?
Very good point. Yeah, I would think that's coming.
How did you, baby crazy as you are, like the adorable putting sunscreen on Maggie bit?
That was good.
Yeah, just slathered, and then they stick the fucking hat and sunglasses on it.
And then, so it's kind of like it's not just them going to the beach. It's like a thing.
Like a city festival almost.
It's the jellyfish festival. Like some kind of jellyfish comes every year. It's very poisonous because Ralphie gets stung.
And just floats away.
Just carefree, floats, like paralyzed. But
his body locks up and he just floats away. He goes, I'm going to Africa. I'm going to see the giraffe. And he rattles off all these animals. And then as he's drifting away, one of the things he's going to see in Africa is Santa.
Yeah, good catch. Yeah.
And the gorilla. Oh my God. One of very few Ralphie appearances in this whole set.
Yep, good point, yeah. And then it kind of morphs from like just family fun at the beach to almost like a evening, like a ball,
there's a dance that night. Yep.
Everyone's all kind of gussied up, and
it's like the county fair, man. You go to you go see the livestock auction, and then you go to the rodeo, and then you go to the street dance. Like there's something for everybody.
And while there,
Jesus Christ, the fact that I think those three things means there's something for everybody.
I mean, you can drink Bud Light indoors. You can drink Bud Light outdoors. Drink them in your car while you're going there.
Yeah.
So it's at the Jellyfish Festival dance that Ned kind of realizes that he's lonely and becomes depressed. He's really depressed. Like, it gets kind of sad.
Yeah, it's a sad because they show all the couples, all the happy couples, the Hibbertses and the Simpsons and the Wiggumses, and then there's Ned.
Yeah, you realize he's like a widower. His wife died fairly recently.
I like when he's trudging home and the newspaper delivery guy throws a bundle of newspapers at his feet and the big headline above the fold is "Lonely Men Die Early."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, jeez. All right.
But, as fate would have, or maybe it's the power of the Lord. He meets a very beautiful woman who asks him on a date
at the Leftorium.
That's where
which we haven't seen in a long time.
And what the mall looks like it's abandoned, so I don't know why she's there.
His store looks like the only one open. I did get a twinge of like nostalgia and sadness in the background. You can see in some of those shots, I can't believe it's not a law firm, which is Lionel Hutz, Phil Hartman's old law
good
firm.
catch.
Yeah, it's like across. It's like across the mezzanine from the Leftorium.
God, that's depressing. That like what a character to lose. Ugh.
And at this point, he's been gone a long time.
Yeah, probably.
This is 2002.
Probably 4 or 5 seasons now.
Yeah.
So he hits it off with her, and she asks him out. Turns out she is the famous leading lady, Sarah Sloane.
Voiced by the delightful Marissa Tomei.
Oh, interesting. I knew it had to be somebody, but I didn't have it noted here.
I love me some Marissa Tomei, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And interesting, like, had a weird career arc, because, like, she kind of blew up. I think she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress from My Cousin Vinny.
Okay.
And then never really found the right thing throughout the rest of the 90s. And then kind of had a renaissance in the 2000s.
Came roaring back with The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, where she plays like the over-the-hill stripper.
Yeah, she did a ton of good stuff in that era.
And now totally back on top of the world. She's Aunt May in Marvel.
Oh, no shit, really?
Peter Parker's
she's Aunt May?
Yeah, they younged up Aunt May now.
What happened to Aunt May being a 110-year-old woman?
Well, I'm pretty sure that's the, don't quote me because I'm a little out of the loop, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of the route that the comics took. Or no, I think they killed Aunt May in the comics.
At one time they did, but
no one stays dead in comic books. But yes, in the MCU, Marissa Tomei is Aunt May.
For the longest time, the rule was only Bucky stays dead. Now Bucky's not even dead.
Yeah, used to be Bucky and Jason Todd, but I'm pretty sure they're both back.
Oh, and even Jason Todd, huh?
If I'm not mistaken.
For those out there that do know the touch of a woman, Jason Todd was one of the Robins.
One of the Robins, who Joker beat to death with a crowbar.
Yeah, real rough stuff, especially for that era of comic.
Uncle Ben, the other one who has stayed dead and always will.
Good call.
He was another of the like, don't ever bring back, and Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marissa Tomei is Aunt May now, and it's funny to see her in like the Avengers movies that she's in, because like fucking Tony Stark's dirtbag always hitting on her. Yeah. Because she's really good looking.
Yeah. Especially for someone that's, been in Hollywood for 30 some years now. So good for you, Marissa Tomei. You're really killing it.
I'm sure she'll hear this.
Yes, I'm sure.
Someone pass this along to Ms. Tomei. Yeah.
She's passing it on to her friends. You guys aren't going to believe where I got name dropped this week. We do get a great gag here where Homer's sleeping in the hammock in the backyard, and that big goddamn caterpillar crawls into his mouth, and he like coughs it up, and it's a butterfly.
And it's a butterfly.
Oh, God.
Fuck yeah.
Having a giant caterpillar fall in your mouth is about the grossest thing I can imagine.
A furry-ass caterpillar.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a huntsman spider one time land on my lips. I was like leaning. I'd been cleaning my garage. I was like, I just had a folding chair, and I was like, I think I leaned back to stretch and yawn, and I felt something hit my mouth, and I just spit, just instinctively. When I saw that goddamn spider hit the cement, start scrambling and run off, I'm like, I was like almost let out a scream. I was like, I don't think I could even. My body, my nervous system couldn't coordinate well enough to make a noise that was loud.
Make a sound.
Yeah, like oh my God. Well, it was so heavy, I wouldn't have thought it was a bug. Like what the fuck? And then I saw it.
Fucking huntsman spiders are
like
big,
a fist-sized spider,
big enough that it made a sound when it hit the ground for sure. Ugh. That's horrifying.
And here I am. I
made it.
Faced my fears.
Yep.
Profiles and courage. I am still podcasting. I won't let it running into what I think is an apex predator slow me down.
I personally 100% coward when it comes to spiders.
Yeah.
Like anything more threatening than a daddy long legs, I'll fucking call a neighbor. I don't give a fuck. I ain't above it.
I am, and I have gotten worse with age. When I was a little kid, I saw a snake. I picked that snake up.
Oh, no way.
Like, yep. Oh my! I remember being a kid wanting to go do something, like go play in someone's yard, and then see a gardener snake on a gravel road. Whoop! Got to do a U-turn. Go grab that snake.
Oh.
Throw it in a box or a. Oftentimes, I think I've discussed this on here. We would build a snake pit out of an old tractor tire that was an old sandbox in an abandoned lot in the trailer park. So just throw all these snakes in there, and then just push a kid in the snake pit.
Oh boy.
You know, people talk about the olden days. You just wake up at 7 a.m. and go outside, come home and mom rang the food bell. We'd eat the food. We go out, then the lights came on. Then we'd come back in. We were animals. It was Lord of the Rings the entire time we were outside. Like, it's good kids have structure. Like,
absolutely. It's good. Let them be on their iPads, because otherwise they're building snake pits.
We tied a bed sheet to a kid's wrists and ankles and convinced he was 4 or 5. He was not smart enough to make these decisions.
Oh, no.
Convinced him to jump off the roof of a shed.
Oh, no.
He fucking landed chest and face first. The noise of the air coming, it was like a fat man falling on an accordion. And we ran into the sunflower field, my backyard, picture like children of the corn, peeking out to watch if our friend died. If he died, we walked to the creek and we walk into town and start new lives. And then he finally started letting out a wail, and then, okay, we got to get out of the sunflower seeds and we have to or sunflower plants and tend to him.
Fucking little 8-year-old Nathan invented those flying squirrel suits long before the X Games.
Yep. Oh, we figured he was going to just calmly coast to that didn't slow him down.
Of course
at
not.
all. Like, we were like, I remember just being, I was like, God damn it. Like, we got to think of we'll take this back to the, drawing room, like, let the R&D boys break it down, see where we went wrong. He so believed in me. He kept his arms outstretched until the moment of impact and landed on his face and chest and just laid there. And then the sheet fell on him. He just this pile of sheet with a kid that died for a moment. His soul left his body.
He believed in you all the way to the ground, Nathan.
How would you like to be our next door neighbor? You're washing dishes and you see this. He lands, doesn't move. We bolt. You're just looking at a lifeless child. Like, do I call somebody? This happens once a week.
Who do I call? His parents? Those boys' parents?
Yeah, 911 would have been. That boy is dead.
Oh, God. And I'm going to make an assumption. I'm going to assume that there was no malice to it. You also thought this would work.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't tricking the boy.
I mean, I thought it worked, but I was not the one.
Maybe not 100%
He was
certainty.
our prototype. He was our crash test dummy for many a thing. And we had a snake bite him one time just to see what that was like.
What the fuck?
Yep. It was like, we don't think gardener snakes can even bite. Like, well, let's just grab him by the neck and push it against Travis's arm and see what happens. And finally, it did bite him. And then he just freaked out. And then,
my God.
Once this doesn't even hurt that bad. There you go. Let's get more snakes to bite him. So yeah, he's a tough boy.
This is why they have the warning on Jackass.
Yeah. This is why you shouldn't let 5-year-olds control their own destiny.
Bring those fucking kids inside. Holy shit.
Bring us inside and shovel us full of macaroni and cheese and Kool-Aid and just shove us back outside them. Got a belly full of poison.
Oh, fuck. I have always been mortified by snakes.
Really? Yeah.
Any snake. You show me a snake and I will be in the next room.
If you threw a gardener snake on my lap, I would let out the highest pitched squeal and shit and piss myself. You throw a gardener snake at 6-year-old me, I grab it out of the air. Tight, free snake. Thanks, bro. Put it in a fucking grocery bag and go back to doing whatever I was doing.
Not me, man. Fucking from day one to day whatever day we're on. Yeah. No fucking way I do snakes. Especially out there, out in the fucking prairie, you got rattlesnakes.
Oh yeah.
Man, you want to fucking sit up and pay attention to what's going on.
You're a rattle.
Walk past a fucking patch of grass or a fucking haystack and hear that goddamn rattle. Just, just get chills.
Like growing up, like rural as you did in your area, how prevalent were like Could you go a year? Could you go a whole summer without seeing a rattlesnake?
Probably not. I feel like that would be... I feel like at the end of the summer, you'd be like, I don't think I killed one rattlesnake this year. That's fucking crazy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I feel like you were always good for between 1 and 3. Mm-hmm. Depending on how... And way more if you were looking for them.
Okay.
If you wanted to, you could go find rattlesnakes. Yeah. There's a town near where I grew up that did the fucking rattlesnake rodeo one time, where it was like, all right, everybody, get your fucking... like the little grabber things that old people have to get the remote off the floor and go fucking collect rattlesnakes, then bring them to the rodeo arena and we'll play games with them. Like dump out a barrel of snakes in the rodeo arena, set a timer, and see how long it takes you to get them all back in the barrel.
Oh, no kidding.
Hope you're early on in the list because they're mad by the end of the day.
Shit. Yeah. Like...
And then bring them down to the fucking bar and we'll cook them all.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that, having like snake feeds,
Snake fry. Yeah. Just lunatics out there.
That kind of like, it sounds like that was for probably the equivalent like moose where I was growing up, where it's like, oh, that's a big moose, But it wasn't like, holy shit, call the newspaper. There's a moose.
Okay,
So it's like, I was like, once every couple times in the winter, I'd see a big bull moose, like.
We had garter snakes, rattlesnakes, and then bull snakes, which aren't venomous, but they're
big.
fucking huge.
They're big.
They're terrifying.
I think we would if someone saw a bull snake, that was, hey, mention it at the bar.
Hey, did you hear Reggie saw a bull snake the other day?
Yeah, so they were very rare for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you ever get any poisonous spiders? You ever hear anyone getting like a...
God, I hope not.
Yeah. See, I was thinking that part of the country could get black widows.
I have no idea. I never heard of it anyway. Like... Maybe someone saw one, but I never heard of it.
Only thing I remember for
What's
spiders.
The other bad one?
Brown recluse.
That one, yeah.
That's the one that like rots the meat where it bites.
Fun.
A friend of mine's boss got it. He was a contractor. Like, he was like barely out of college. My buddy was like 18 and he got bit by it and he didn't do anything about it. Like, fuck. And he just started getting sicker than a dog. By the time it was done, it looked like when they finally patched him up, it looks like someone took an ice cream scoop and just took a heaping scoop out of his calf.
Jesus.
That's just whatever like the word for it is, just rotted necrosis or whatever.
Yeah.
Just rotted all that meat. And they just had to keep carving it out. Like, it's like, that's fun. I got to change how you walk. You gotta fucking, and they're not even big and scary looking.
Can't even wear shorts the rest of the summer. Dumb spider.
Back to capris. So, Jesus, we took a detour.
Us?
Ned and Sarah are hitting it off, and they decide to go have dinner with the Simpsons, and the paparazzi show up. And there's a great bit. Homer's like, I thought the scarecrow would throw him off. And there's a very shoddily made scarecrow in Ned's yard with just like a boombox playing gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
Yep.
It was good.
That's a fucking great bit.
And I commented, is the paparazzi still a thing? But then I was like, well, shit, like TMZ's still around.
Yeah, of course,
so it just, they went from print to video.
And like tabloid magazines still exist. You go grocery shopping, like...
Yeah, you're right.
You know, somehow they're still in print.
I'm sure their numbers aren't what they once were.
Who the fuck has ever once bought one of those? I always think that because you usually end up standing in line at the grocery store for a little bit anyway. So I always read the headlines because they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's like, someone fucking buys these.
My grandmother used to get them secondhand. Like her friends would give them to her. So when I go to my grandma's house as a little kid, I'd just be reading like, oh man, I can't believe Elizabeth Taylor's getting married again. I'm 6 years old.
Oh, salacious.
Because I always remember National Enquirer. That was the main. And then there was the Sun.
Sure.
The Sun was a little more goofy, and every once in a while I would get blessed with a weekly world news, which that's almost doesn't even include celebrities. It's just complete deranged lunacy, which I love.
Oh, somebody saw a Bat Boy fucking Sasquatch the other day.
Yeah, Bat Boy's back, and he's in heat. Oh man, And there's a great line too. I think maybe they decide to go out and they're just bombarded by the public, and people are hollering at Ned. It's like, what's it like to kiss a movie star? And then comic book guy, what's it like to kiss a woman?
Yep, that was great.
Damn it, that got me
That was
laughing.
a great moment for comic book guy.
And despite all of this, Sloane is just smitten by Flanders and his wholesomeness. Mm-hmm. And it eventually progresses where she wants to move to Hollywood with Ned and the boys.
Back. Come with me.
Yeah. And Flanders has like a good like vision of what Hollyweird would be like for him.
Yeah. And all of how godless and horrifying Hollywood is. When he's standing on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and one of the stars is drug abuse. Yeah. Fuck.
And a grown-up Rod and Todd pull up in a convertible. It's like, we're movie producers now, and we're Jewish.
With bikini babes. Yeah.
So he's like, lets her know, thanks, but no thanks. I can't do it. And she, still all about the Flanders life, decides, well, fuck it. If that doesn't work, well, I'm going to move to Springfield with you.
Immediately. Like, that all happens in the course of 2 sentences. Like, well, I don't think I can move out to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll stay here. It's like, whoa, shit, okay.
And then there's some kind of event going on in Springfield that they all go to, that the whole city's kind of going to. And she is dressed to the nines. Very provocative outfit. Of course, Ned is very flustered by all of this, you know?
You remember what the event was? It's at the amphitheater. It's John Williams plays the music of Itchy and Scratchy.
That's what it was. Yeah. So they're there, and she finally is like, hey, I'm horny. What are we going to take care of this or what? And he is having a moment of crisis.
I hope that's how you do it.
My pillow talk. And he's having a moment of crisis. He's looking through the Bible, this and that. And finally, he's a man.
Fucking goes for it anyway.
They get together and really get after it. Kind of all that sexual tension that was all built up. Getting it
outside.
There we go. And I always forget, he is in very good shape. He's like muscular, like
stupid, sexy Flanders. Yeah, Flanders is jacked. Remember him in the Streetcar Named Desire episode?
Yeah, good call. Like, and they're lying there post-coital, and she's like, "Wow, that was really great." And he's like, "Yeah, like, how much fun it's going to be after we get married?" And she's like, "Whoa, pump those brakes." And she's like, "Yeah, that's not for me. Don't live that." And they kind of just come to an agreement, like this wasn't meant to be.
It wraps up extremely quickly.
Yep.
Just like, oh, if you don't want to get married, well.
You're right. My notes just kind of like, my notes are, they had one night of hot stuffing, but then it was over. I should write romance novels.
Yes, you absolutely should. I would fucking...
night of hot stuffing by Nathan Fullsbuck.
We joke all the time about a Patreon goal. Nathan will write a fucking romance novel, and then we'll do a table read of it if we get the fucking $5,000.
So, yeah, that's just kind of it. They end on a good note, but it's over, and then credits roll.
Yeah. My favorite episode of the bunch. I really loved this one. Yep. I like that we're checking back in on Ned, because we haven't checked in on Ned in a while, like in a deep way of, the last time was when that Christian singer lady came back and he was a psychopath to her.
Yeah.
So I like that he's, he seems to be progressing, doing better. There's some fucking A+ jokes in this episode.
Yeah.
Like when Rod and Todd are fucking singing to her in the living room and she goes, "Oh, you boys are jamming." Rod stops dead in his tracks and goes, "Daddy, she swore."
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I have a couple other here. When she says that she's going to stay in Springfield after he says he doesn't want to move to Hollywood, and he says, "Excuse my language, but I'm one happy camper."
Yeah.
And then maybe my biggest laugh of the whole fucking week was, I forget what he's shopping for her for, but he says, "The last thing I bought for a lady was a casket." Jesus Christ, that is a sharp joke.
Yep. How he says it so matter-of-factly, too. Like it's just small talk.
Yeah,
like,
the last thing I bought for a lady was a casket.
That was good.
Holy shit, that was fucking funny. Yeah, I loved it. I thought that was a great episode.
I did like the side thing of Mo being a sleazy paparazzi.
Yeah, like just working for himself, maybe.
Yeah, there's like a freelance. It's like more of a passion project for him.
Yeah, love of the game. Episode 14 is Mr. Spritz Goes to Washington. I like right away we're watching TV, watching old Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Like geriatric Three Stooges, which I thought was funny.
Three Stooges ever do much?
Not at all.
Yep.
I never, I've seen clips of the show. I've certainly never sat and watched a full episode. I never saw any of the movies,
I've seen plenty. Because back in the early days of basic cable, Ted Turner had the rights to three. So like any Atlanta Braves rain out, you're either going to get Little Rascal reruns or Three Stooges reruns.
Oh, okay.
Or just like they would fill an hour just Three Stooges shorts. So, and yeah, I mean, I get it. I could see they were icons, I guess, but it's just like
at some point, slapstick is
it's old for me.
Yeah, I was about to say at some point, slapstick is timelessly funny.
Yeah, but for
but
me,
it's all the rest of it that's in there. It's all the mannerisms. Like you show me somebody slap somebody else, and I'll probably smile.
Yeah,
but it's all the rest of the curly noises and all that.
Just a half an hour of it gets old for me.
Yeah. We've professed our love of Jackass. That's what slapstick had to become for me to get super into it.
And then like Jackass wouldn't be funny or wouldn't be the show it is if there wasn't the camaraderie. If the friendship part of it's just as important. Like
they're all very antagonistic. I think every time I've seen anything having to do with Three Stooges, I'm like, why don't you guys leave?
Yeah.
Like
no shit.
There's no reason the three of you have to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you and I and Chase Rader slapped the shit out of each other every time we hung out, I just wouldn't hang out with you guys.
I'd make other plans.
Yeah. I'm going to do something else. And then they'd replace me with a Shemp or something.
Yeah. Shemp Marlin.
There is at first what I thought was an earthquake. The whole whole house is shaking. Shit's falling apart. Turns out that there is a passenger jet flying over the house. We find out pretty quickly that the flight path for Springfield International Airport has been moved, and the reason for which, after they go to the airport and complain, is that Quimby didn't like the flight path going over his fuck motel. So he had it moved.
Yeah, it was like I could finally hear your beautiful voice. And then,
and then she has an awful,
just this,
super high pitched, whiny voice.
That's what you sound like.
I loved when they cut to 1 month later and the whole family is just fried, just crispy around all the edges. Their hair's all fucked up and eyes are bloodshot.
Homer's got the Homer goatee where he hasn't shaved.
Yeah, it's shaggy.
Yeah.
Lisa's sitting on the floor listening to the Jets go by going like, oh, there's the 412 from Portland. Oh, there's the 311 from Tucson.
The 615 from Newark must be running late. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, she's
like excited and laughing. Like she's lost her complete connection to reality.
The dog, Santa's little helper, has eaten all of his own hair off. The appliances are moving. When Grandpa comes like vibrating by on the toilet, shimmying across the living room. Holy shit, just crispy as can be. They are hating it. So they decide they're going to sell their house, and surprise, surprise, nobody wants to buy it because Jets are constantly assaulting it.
What was Ralphie going to trade him?
Like 3 crayons and shit. I don't remember what else it was, but he's like, I'll buy it for these. And it's not money. It's like 3 crayons and a fucking sandwich or something like that. And Homer like tries to like upbid him or get a better thing out of him. And Ralphie just drops all the stuff on the ground and like slaps his hand, dusts his hands together and just goes, I'm out, and walks away.
That was good.
They go visit their congressman, whose name I didn't bother writing down because he dies immediately.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you're going to mention this. There's a great gag where he dies. He has a heart attack right in front of him, and Marge's like, somebody do CPR, and Homer in a panic starts singing CCR.
Yeah,
with like the terror. Like, I'll see a bad moon rising. Like thinking, okay, I'm very scared, but this is what we need to do right now to save this man.
Yeah, and Marge is like, that's CCR.
Yeah. And he still sings. He still like doesn't know what to do.
On the way. Oh my God, that was so fucking good.
That was good.
Do you have thoughts on CCR?
Yeah, they were one of the first.
You said that ominously.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I did not mean to. I was like, I had to collect
Marlin,
myself.
sit down.
Yeah, like. Yeah, pour some coffee. We're gonna be here. Huh? No, they were one of those bands. They were one of the first greatest hits of a classic rock band I ever had on CD.
Chronicle.
So I played the ever loving shit. So I burnt myself out. But now I'm back to appreciating CCR.
Yeah,
it's wild how much the output they made for a band that was only around for like 4 fucking years.
Yeah,
like they were barely ever a band, and yeah, they kick ass.
Yeah, they're like Tom Petty, where it's like every song's a hit.
Yeah, like
every song got on the radio,
and they're interesting because like they're not cool, at all. Like there are very few bands that I can think of that like they like nothing. Like no one picks up a guitar to be John Fogerty,
right?
You know,
and like you can't. None of it is played when there's dancing happening. Like there's no. None of it's fun.
Yeah, like they're such an interesting band. Like, do you ever meet anyone whose favorite band is CCR? I mean, maybe,
Fuck no.
but like, yeah.
I never have.
Like, and they don't really have a niche. Like, they're not like a Rush where they appeal to like the D&D kids. You know, they are not a Grateful Dead where they appeal to like the stoner crowd.
Yeah.
Like, and like none of them are real heartthrobs, so they never had like a what's his name, like Jim Morrison vibe.
Right.
You know, like
I guess if you have to pigeonhole them somewhere, you would put them in Southern rock. Although they're from San Francisco.
Yep.
Like
yeah.
You know, so
none of it makes,
but
yeah.
they have the twang. I guess you would put them in Southern rock if you had to.
Yeah. And they weren't really part of any kind of like emerging genre.
No,
they were just a kick-ass fucking rock group that like just
play Americana
billion
rock.
Good songs. You know, like
I might be okay if I never heard Fortunate Son again.
Which is a shame because it's a great song.
Such
but yeah,
a good song.
It's just
there's a fucking banger Clutch cover of Fortunate Son that's outrageous. But yeah, Bad Moon Rising, fucking their cover of Put a Spell on You. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're the original on that one.
No. Proud Mary, they are the original, but Tina Turner probably made it bigger.
Oh, are they the original?
Yeah.
Okay. I think of the Elvis Presley version when I think of Proud Mary. Yeah, so many good songs. I'm pretty sure that on that shelf where all the records are, there is probably the Chronicle Greatest Hits album you're talking about.
Oh, no kidding. Huh. Yeah, and like that's like 20 tracks and they're all bangers.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what a and then again, yeah, I had like a 4-year. He was done being in a band by the time he was like 23.
Yeah.
John Fogerty, like.
And then he went on and did like Center Field. I hate that song.
Yeah, I don't dislike it, but yeah.
It's such a gimmick. It's the Monster Mash, but baseball. Speaking of the Monster Mash, and you know how we sometimes talk about cereal on this podcast, did you fucking see the news today that they're putting out a cereal called Monster Mash that is Count Chocula, Boo Berry, Frankenberry, Fruit Brute, and the other one all in one box?
That can't be good.
It has to be good. How can it not?
Fruit and chocolate together?
Fuck it.
I thought you were the guy that doesn't like marshmallows.
I don't, but I'll buy a box of that. I also don't like fruit cereal.
That's going to taste like poison. You're going to look like you have jaundice when you're done eating that.
I might have jaundice when I'm done eating that. But I love that is an American cereal, my friend. What are you going to do? Put all of them in the same fucking bowl.
I hope there's going to be someone like a representative from General Mills that like sits in the cereal aisle and just degrades whoever buys it because they know they can like wrestle you down and pull your shirt off. Here you go, tits. Go pay for this cereal.
Oh, is this what you wanted so bad? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, fucking flip flops and basketball shorts. You sad piece of shit.
Which one?
You eat this in the car without any milk, you fucking pig.
Yeah, I will. I'll pour that bag straight down my fucking head.
Yeah, I can't. I don't fucks with dry cereal. I gotta have milk.
Oh yeah, I'll eat dry. I ain't above dry cereal. Which one am I forgetting? Count Chocula, Fruit Brute, Boo Berry, Frankenberry. It's the Mummy. What's the Mummy's name?
The Mummy predates, like Fruit Brute even predates me. I've only seen that on the internet.
Okay. I've seen it. You can find it around Halloween.
Oh, can you really?
Yeah.
Okay, in my childhood, it didn't exist. It had already been. I think it got discontinued in the late 70s, early 80s. But so when I was a kid, it was.
Fruit Brute is the werewolf.
Yep. All I remember is Boo Berry, Frankenberry, and Count Chocula. Those are the.
I feel like those are that's the Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh of that Miami Heat team.
I'm right now, like, because again, we rarely ever got good cereal. I'm sure at some point I had a bowl or two of each. I kind of want to try all three of them. See what I think.
Well, if I got news for you, you can get all 5 of them in one bowl.
That's like I was never a fan of the kids that would get a suicide with the fountain soda when you have,
Oh, sure.
It's like, no, I want to enjoy one beverage.
I'm usually that way. Usually I'm right there with you on all this, but there is something about this thing in particular where I'm like, this is such a fucking garbage mess of American excess that I will. This is the McRib of cereals, and I'm here for it. The one I had forgotten is Yummy Mummy, Fruity Yummy Mummy.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Yummy Mummy.
Which is a fruit and marshmallow cereal.
Interesting. See, I think those cereals follow the concept of dry corn or wheat-based pieces with marshmallows mixed in.
Sure, yeah, like Lucky Charms.
Yep. Where I'm guessing the Count Chocolate, like the dry pieces, are also chocolatey, almost like a cocoa puff or something like that.
Yeah, it's like Count Chocula is like Cocoa Puffs, but with white marshmallows.
Okay, yeah.
It just tastes like marshmallows.
I'd probably like that.
And now that I think about it, every cereal marshmallow tastes like marshmallows, regardless of the color.
God, I could Chocolate Pebbles and Fruity Pebbles. They're my trash cereals of choice.
Yeah.
God, I like the little Crispies.
I like them, but they go soft so quickly that I prefer a Cocoa Puff.
Interesting.
A Cocoa Puff will stand up a little better in some milk.
I'm literally like a chemist when I make cereal. I'll take my spoon and level the cereal so it's flat, and then I'll pour exactly not more than a drop necessary for how much do I need to saturate every kernel. I press it down quick with my spoon. I get everything wet. I just start horsing it into my mouth. Just going for it, like getting winded eating cereal.
Get fucking tennis elbow eating breakfast.
Sometimes I am proud of how little milk is left in the bowl. It's like, that was so perfect.
See, I like my cereal to be on the soggy side, but there is a tipping point where it's too much. I'll still eat it because I'm an animal. Yeah. But like, if dry cereal in the bag is a 0 and sopping wet fucking mess is 10, I want about an 8, maybe an 8.5. I like it a little soft.
God, yeah, I can. And Captain Crunch, and I'm a Captain Crunch purist. I don't want no Crunch Berries. I want just OG Captain. The Crunch Berries are always I don't know. They overpowered it too much for me.
See, for me, Captain Crunch is too boring. I need a little. I need the Crunch Berries. I don't want Oops All Crunch Berries.
It's too much.
And honestly,
it's a gross excess.
Yep. And honestly,
it's offensive. It offends your cereal sensibilities.
I love how I'm sitting here being like, yeah, Oops All Crunch Berries is too much, as I'm gushing about this fucking Halloween abomination that's coming out. Honestly, my favorite Captain Crunch is Peanut Butter Captain Crunch. Like, I'll eat Peanut Butter Captain Crunch all fucking day. I'll pour it straight into my stupid face. Also makes a good cat toy. One piece of Captain Crunch peanut butter because it's round. She'll chase it around. Yeah. She loves peanut butter. She'll lick it pale.
Two cereals that seem to join the regular rotation of like sugary cereals. When I worked at a grocery store in high school, but I was just old enough that they would have captured my imagination when I was 8. There was an Oreo cereal and a Reese's cereal.
And Reese's Puffs.
So
Hell yeah.
Were those a part of your childhood at all? Or did you lust after them?
That might have been like tail end, but like I've said before, we're not much of a cereal family. Yeah. I probably ate those post 18 years old.
Oh, okay.
Those were probably college cereals.
I think we've discussed here. We were a cereal family, but we only ate like fucking commodity cornflakes. It's the most boring, sad. But then finally, the good people at Multimeal started putting out those discount knockoff.
Fuck yeah!
Get a bag of
dog food bag full of cereal,
lucky talismans or whatever they had to call it to avoid legal trouble.
Fruit Hoops.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
they may have been Fruit Hoops. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cocoa Roos is the Cocoa Puffs one, and it's got a kangaroo on it.
I ate so. My mom at that point had given up. These kids are boars. Let's just give them what they want. They quit yelping for their sugary treats.
During my college years and adult years, well into my 30s, like I have eaten so fucking much Cocoa Roos, like the tall one, like it comes in like a dog food bag. Yeah. It looks like a fucking anime fuck pillow. Like it's 4 feet tall and about 18 inches around. Like I have eaten so much of that goddamn discount cereal in my life. The discount Captain Crunch is pretty decent.
Oh really? I don't know.
It's got crunch berries, so it might not be your thing.
Fudge. A lot of discount Lucky Charms in the Fulsbuck household. God, I like Lucky Charms.
I'm not a marshmallow in
They've got that ratio perfect for me. It's not too marshmallowy.
Yeah.
And you just don't want marshmallows.
No, other than this fucking
Halloween poison they're gonna funnel down your mouth and make a fucking snuff film of you getting treat you like one of those ducks that they fucking speed feed so they can cut your liver out and feed it to rich people. I regret nothing. Oh!
Just a funnel that you're just shoveling this Monster Mash cereal down me. There's fucking Patreon content.
Yeah, holy shit. That's OnlyFans for you. There's people, other countries pay a chunk of change. I bet there is. I bet there are foreign businessmen that get off on the idea of fat white Americans getting force-fed sugary
overeating.
Slop. Yeah.
They just hate us the whole time. Yeah.
They can put on a Trump 2020 baby doll tee.
That might be a step too far for me. I'll do the cereal, but I'm not wearing the fucking...
You're playing a character. Come on, baby. Get into it.
I don't like how serious this got all of a sudden.
His and her jet skis.
No. I can't swim. I don't want a jet ski. Just let me eat my cereal in peace. Leave the funnel, but turn the camera off. Have a real fucking roller girl breakdown. No. So this congressman drops dead before all the cereal and CCR talk. We're gonna have a special election to fill his seat, and Bart thinks that Krusty should run. We get a Jesse Ventura name drop here, which you don't get very often about celebrities becoming politicians. No. But it is early enough that we don't get an Arnold Schwarzenegger name drop.
Yep, I noticed that too.
That sweet spot. We get a look inside one of our favorites, the Republican Party headquarters.
I even noted that too. It's like, glad to see that their Transylvania ass is back.
Yeah. They decide Krusty's going to be their candidate, and he goes out campaigning. Kent Brockman is out covering, I don't remember if he's covering Krusty's opponent. Armstrong is the name.
Yeah, some dud.
And Kent Brockman, staring straight down the barrel of that camera, standing outside that building, just goes, "How can I prove we're live? penis.
Yeah, his eyes wide open.
Holy
I
shit,
got a chuckle out of that.
That was a fun joke.
One thing I was going to mention too, when they're in the Republican headquarters for Springfield, we get Bob Dole because he was still not that far removed from '96.
Is he still alive?
That's what I think is still.
I think he is too. Yep.
He has got it. I bet he's approaching 100 years old.
He's got to be. I remember it was like a big deal that people like helped him out of his wheelchair during George Sr.'s funeral.
Yep. Yeah.
So he was alive as of then.
He was in World War II. And if you were in World War II and you're very
Holy
old,
shit.
think of that. Like we're approaching like the 80th anniversary of the Pearl Harbor and shit like that. Yeah.
That's coming up.
And that wild to think it's that close now. Like, was it December 7th, 1941? A date that will live in infamy.
42.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
So December 7th sticks out in my head.
Yep, December 7th for sure, but I think it's 42. I might be wrong.
So you got time to buy party favors for your 80th anniversary.
Yeah, I got time to stock up on Monster Mash cereal.
Hey guys, come over. What do you do for the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor? You want to eat some sugary cereal with
Want
me?
to have some cereal? Listen to some CCR?
You guys into these things?
Marlon, this is a real specific party. You're throwing a party just to commemorate the couple of offshoots you had during the one episode of your dumb podcast.
I just got a comment out of here. There's a great line coming up from Mo. I think it's when Krusty's on the campaign trail and everyone's just grumbling about what they want changed. And then Mo's like, the government wants to shut me down because of the pipes in under my bathroom don't lead nowhere.
Yep.
That is so insane in a bar. The smell.
I like that Krusty's doing all that campaigning from the back of a train, which is a fun thing I always love to see. It's a very like, oh, brother, where art thou thing.
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
Armstrong, Krusty's opponent, shows some offensive Krusty sketches, being like, and as you and I and everybody listening all knows, like, you can't point at something horrible that someone has said and expect him not to get elected.
Yep. Oh, yeah. George Bush Jr. showed that too. That was where it began, and we're just seeing it mutate into Donald Trump.
Yeah. At one point, an airplane runs directly into the house and has to back up because don't forget that's why we're doing all this.
That was
to get rid of that fucking flight path.
Yeah.
Lisa insists that Krusty connect with some regular Joes. We get some great Fox News jokes.
Yeah, that got me thinking.
This is Fox. It's the same company. So I think it's funny that Fox makes fun of Fox News.
And this is right around the time that became a known thing.
Yep, that Fox is just Republican propaganda.
Yep, this is around that time, kind of like the first Bush, the 2000. Maybe it kind of started with all the Clinton drama in the late 90s, like Monica Lewinsky. Maybe then they were really kind of latched onto that, but then it really amplified during George Bush Jr.'s campaign and election.
Yeah. Krusty ends up winning. He goes to Washington and can't get any traction. Just can't get anything done as a freshman congressman. We cut to him slamming booze at the Drinkin' Memorial.
Yeah.
What a great name for a DC bar. He hits the floor with renewed vigor, but no one is there because nobody shows up unless it's to vote. Except for that one guy, he's just there to steal lamps from other people's desks.
That was a good gag. Yeah.
That was fun. The janitor, who is definitely not Walter Mondale, shows up and tells him how things really work. We get some blackmailing. Homer drinks that one Southern senator under the table so he can't make the vote.
Yeah.
And Lisa paper clips the flight path bill onto the Flags for Orphans bill.
Yeah.
just put it on a bill that's a fucking home run that can't lose. And the bill passes, and then we wrap up real quick. The planes are no longer going over the Simpsons' house, and they're all standing in the backyard reveling in their victory. And Homer says, now those planes are where they should be, going over the homes of poor people.
Yep.
Just like, oh, shit. And I thought maybe we'd get like a cut to Cletus the slack-jawed yokel and his family or something. But no, they just stand there in their yard and revel in these poor people's misery.
I did appreciate the Walter Mondale. That was nice.
I'll admit to not knowing who that is.
Pride of Minnesota. Well, maybe not the pride of Minnesota politics.
That's Jesse Ventura. We talked about him already.
Walter Mondale ran for president. 84.
No idea.
And I don't know if he was a senator or a congressman. He was one of the two. He was there forever. But maybe Hubert Humphrey is probably the best known name. He got a Metrodome named after him.
I was about to say he had a sports arena, so him I know.
Yeah.
If he'd have been in this episode, I'd be like, oh, the sports arena.
Yep. I don't think Mondale was just kind of known as like a pragmatic but bland politician.
Sure.
You know, like
the ones we should have.
Yeah. Yeah, should have had him way ahead of Reagan. Like, well, I know I've seen his running mate in '84 was Geraldine Ferraro. And she talked about she would go all these small towns and like mill cities and like go to Detroit and all these and have all these charts and graphs to show how trickle down economics is going to hurt them and this, and they were just like, nope, we like Reagan. He's one of us, but he's not.
He's not at all.
Fucking movie star.
It's
man.
never worked once.
Yep. Like, yeah. So, and she's like, I knew we were done. We could have all the facts and numbers, but they just loved this guy. Even though he's bad for
no
them.
fucking reason.
Yep.
Not a good actor.
Yep.
You ever seen a Ronald Reagan film?
God, I think maybe some really old horseshit westerns.
I forget the name of who it is, but like his last movie, The Killers, I forget who it is, but somebody fucking knocks him out. It feels good.
Really?
It feels good
Interesting.
to see.
What's he best known for? He's in the Newt Rockney story, Win One for the Gipper.
Yeah, that's
and
easily
then
the one.
Bedtime for Bonzo. What's him and an ape?
Oh, I've never seen that. I've heard that phrase, but I didn't know it was
I'm pretty
a
sure
Reagan
that's
film.
the ape movie that he's in.
Nah, that's his... shit. What's the Clint Eastwood one?
Oh, God. What is that? Where he's a trucker.
Yeah,
he's got
as an orangutan.
Yeah. Man, I'm mad at
Any
myself.
Which Way But Loose?
Is that it?
Probably not.
Yeah, could be.
Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
No.
It's not that one for sure. Unforgiven. Boy, if there was an orangutan in Unforgiven.
Unforgiven 2. They wanted to make it more family friendly. So he
sure. Tone it down a little.
Yeah, he adopts a very, very rambunctious orangutan. We're up to episode 15, CEDO. CEDO. That's what it is. CEDO.
You got there.
We
I'm
did
proud
it.
of you,
Took
buddy.
us a second. We get an Itchy and Scratchy reference to Buddy Holly's ill-fated flight to Fargo.
That was an insane cartoon.
That was some high concept Itchy and Scratchy.
That was like the most esoteric Itchy and Scratchy cartoon.
I mean, technically they weren't flying to Fargo, but they were flying to Moorhead, which is attached.
Same town.
Sister city.
Same town.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Moorhead City Armory, I believe, is where they were going to play.
Oh, sure.
Which I don't even know if that exists anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah, or if it is, it's like used to store shit.
I think a lot of like downtown Moorhead got destroyed in the 70s.
Or they knocked half of it down to make a shopping mall no one has ever wanted to go to.
That is now fucking ghostly empty. Yep.
I didn't know that. What was it? I think it was called the Fargo City Auditorium. This is a perfect time to grab a snack. It was an auditorium in downtown Fargo on the corner of Main and First Avenue South. If you can picture that, we had a couple good friends that lived in an apartment complex that's right there right now.
Yep.
There was an auditorium there, and Duke Ellington recorded performed there in 1940. And a couple of local jazz nerds reached out to his people and asked if they could record it. Like, well, sure, whatever, just don't release it. Back then, music production was the wild, wild west. You could just print some records and start selling them out of the back of your car, But they said, okay, nope, we won't do that. And then it was like one of their kids or something found this 30-odd years later. Like, this sounds really good. Like, we should talk to them. And by this time, Duke Ellington has passed away. They talked to his people, his record label. They released it like in 1978, like 38. It won the Grammy for Best Live Jazz Album in 1978.
Fucking 40 years removed.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in Fargo, and that building is long gone, but they've now painted a mural in that alleyway of Duke, because that's what made me look into it. It's like, fuck, is there a giant painting of Duke Ellington in downtown Fargo? But that's why it is. Like, He won a Grammy for work he did there in the 40s.
Fun local facts.
There you go.
That's work for the Fargo Tourism Board.
I should. The guy that used to write these articles for the Fargo Forum just passed away last week. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so,
that's a weird way for me to get that news. That's a weird reaction.
Terrific. There's an opening. Strike while the iron is deathly cold.
There you go. Go in with that fucking Duke Ellington trivia.
I think I read it in an article on the forum, so I'm not getting a scoop here.
Fuck it, sell it back to him, baby. That's how C-Lab happened.
Yeah, good point.
They stole the footage and sold it back.
Repackage it, yeah. So we get the itch and scratchy. Then it turns out it's Valentine's Day, so Homer sends the kids into the basement to listen to music loudly.
And gives them snacks and shit.
And he wants to get weird with Marge. Poor Marge is too tired. That happens.
Did you write down the quote?
I'm not sure.
When Marge comes out of the bathroom and Homer's laying on the fucking bed of roses and she's all tired looking and she says, I always bring my A game to the bedroom, but tonight I just can't throw the heat.
Yeah, you're right.
Holy shit. Can't throw the heat is the best.
That was good.
Use that. I'm going to use that for fucking sure.
And Homer, in a surprisingly... he kind of just takes it, okay, that's okay. Doesn't pout too much,
I don't know. He does pout going down the street looking at the fucking billboards and shit.
Yeah, but I get that. I think that's fair. You're questioning yourself.
I suppose.
Like maybe she doesn't find me attractive. That happens in relationships, Marlin.
That happens not in relationships also all the time.
So he's thinking maybe she's just not into me anymore. And he's looking at these billboards. That was kind of funny. All the different, there's like a suicide.
Yeah, suicide prevention one. Yeah.
That's going a little too hard to paint there, buddy.
Before we go completely past it, there's a great, adorable moment of Maggie in her crib dancing to Sex Bomb.
Oh, the mix-up on the...
great. He instead of
mixtapes,
his sex mixtape, he grabbed her lullaby so she has the fuck tunes.
Yeah, and Marge immediately goes to sleep. Yeah. That was good, yeah.
And Maggie dancing to Sex Bomb is pretty great.
What's the name? Who sang that? That British guy.
Oh, shit.
Tom Jones.
There we go.
Yeah.
Tom Jones. I almost said Tom Waits. That'd be a way different song.
That'd be a different album.
Somebody get Tom Waits to record Sex Bomb.
So again, Homer's despondent. He thinks he's a dud. And he decides he sees a sign for strip for your spouse or something like that.
At extension school, yeah.
So he's decided that is his way.
Which fucking Hibbert is teaching.
Yeah. It turns out, had to pay for doctor college some way.
as his stripping persona, Malcolm Sex.
Yeah. So he is taking this class and he greased himself up. Just such a ridiculous thing to do. But he's kicked out of the classroom. And he's now very sad, but now he can't. He just starts sliding because he's so lubed up. And he slides right into this kind of just like a success,
like a Tony
Robbins,
self-help
Tony Robbins. There's all sorts of different. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and then they have to be kind of playing off the Alec Baldwin character too from Glengarry Glen Ross because he's very
maybe a little. He's
aggressive,
super intense,
bragging about what he has and things.
He fucking hucks Hans Molman out the window.
Yep, so good. Holy shit, that was good.
Yep.
And Homer is just into this. He
buys his book because that's what the class is there for, is to sell books.
So he's, he puts it all in his head. He's thinking, okay, one of the first things is point out flaws at your workplace and let your boss know to show that you're a go-getter.
Yeah.
And there's a good scene of all the insane shit. Oh man, Lenny and Carl fighting with those plutonium rods,
making lightsaber noises.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And the argument they're having is, I say Phantom Menace sucks more.
Yeah.
No, I say Attack on the Clones sucks more.
And
which it's not even a contest. Attack of the Clones is fucking god awful.
And what are the two that they're comparing?
Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace.
And Phantom Menace is the first one, right?
Yeah, the Liam Neeson one.
The second one is worse.
Oh yeah,
I've not
big time.
I remember just not being impressed with either. So really, okay,
sure, yeah. I watched those both pretty recently, like within the last year, and Like, neither of them are good, but 2 is fucking bad.
No shit. Really? Huh. Oh, yeah. I guess in my head, I just remember the whole thing being with Jar Jar Binks in the first one, and that's what got people riled up.
Yeah, I mean, he's awful. 1 isn't good.
Yeah. How about the third one? That's the one I haven't seen. I've heard that's the best of the trio.
I have not watched that one since the movie theater. So that's been a long fucking time ago. But I remember thinking, this also isn't good, but it's the best of these 3.
Maybe I'm not remembering right, but I remember thinking too when that I was like, I don't know, mid to late 20s when that came out, and just thinking, my God, no one even seems to be all that worked up about this because the first 2 movies were such a disappointment.
Right.
It's like, Jesus, this is like the end of a trilogy. Who know, at that point, are we going to get any more? This could be the last Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah.
And just I mean, I think it did well because it's Star Wars, but like, it didn't seem to be the worldwide phenomenon that it should have been because fucking George Lucas had squandered all that goodwill.
Yeah. I remember thinking, and I think that it is a pretty general consensus, that episode 3 is the best of the prequels, but none of the prequels are good.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like that's, at least in the circles I run in,
Yeah, I
that
think
seems
so.
to be what people think. Best fucking number one thing about Phantom Menace, motherfucking John Williams' Duel of Fates song is so fucking good during that final lightsaber fight. I'll play that at a bar on a Touch Tunes. I ain't scared.
Get that party started.
Yeah, you want to see some people leave a bar in a hurry.
Which I'm always all for. Get out of here. Need you in here.
Yeet.
So Homer goes to Burns with his list of all of his recommendations and ideas, and he's just promptly rejected.
Yep.
It's like,
Dumps him into the electric eel pool.
yeah. Just perfect Burns, just chef's kiss Burns moment.
Yep.
And God bless, finally we get some, this is, like we had 5 seasons in a row that are pretty low on the Burns Smithers. So we,
Yeah, and even this one, there's not that much of it.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
I've been waiting for a Burns episode in season 14 this whole fucking time.
Yeah. And so he is very angry about all this because the book, he's like, well, what do I do now? So he decides he's just going to play a bullshit prank on him. The prank is he's going to leave a flaming bag of dog shit.
Yeah.
But it's Lisa's college fund. It's just so fucking dumb,
He's
but I
just
laugh.
stamping out burning money. You ever pull like flaming dog shit on the, because you're a troublemaker, or you were in your youth.
I was never big on like that level of juvenile delinquency.
Okay.
Like I was never a shoplifter. I was never a wreck people's shit. Like that was.
How about doorbell? You ever ring a doorbell and run away? That seems up your alley.
No, to me that was just fucking one note. It was just bland.
It was below you.
Yeah, like prank.
You were
call.
convincing friends to jump off of roofs.
Yeah, it's like prank calls. Like that's just a beautiful open canvas that you can be creative on, you know? Like I can convince an old woman to wait for a pizza that's never going to come. There's layers of the prank call. Like you can have a plan, you can improvise. It's like jazz, you know? Like ding dong, run. There's nobody here. Shut the door. Like, what do you gig? That's so.
Yeah, that's a pretty limp tug for sure.
Yeah. How do you get out of bed and that's what you're looking forward to?
I love that you're above it.
Yeah. But Homer, while trying to do this prank, overhears Burns admit that the plant's real owner is a canary to protect Burns from responsibility for any wrongdoing by the power plant, which is a ridiculous concept.
Yeah, C. Montgomery Burns, but C stands for canary.
That is good. And there's also, I think it's around this time we get a scene where I think Homer's in bed contemplating what he should do, and the kids like throw in their 2 cents, and like, wait, you can hear us? And like, yeah, these walls are and Lisa punches through
the bedroom wall and waves
and
to him.
And then during all that, and then we hear, and want to kill you to buy some curtains, and there's Flanders smoking a pipe in that,
staring directly into their bedroom.
That must be a reference to like Rear Window or something. Like there's something I'm not getting. Just like the heat from the
glow of the embers of the pipe.
That's all you can see. That's a nice touch.
And it wouldn't kill you to get some curtains.
So He steals the canary. They let the canary go. Fly to the Canary Islands. It flies out, comes back, checks the globe, flies back. That was a good gag.
It had to see where the Canary Islands were.
Yeah. So Flanders shows up, Burns shows up. The canary's gone. He doesn't know what to do. He panics. Homer, conveniently enough, is right there. Just keeps saying hello. And he's like, well, he's a nice fellow, but I don't have time for this. Hello. Like,
I appreciate how
you're
friendly
a polite
you are,
young
but
man.
I'm dealing with an emergency. Yeah.
And finally, it dawns on him. Oh, I can make this dope the face of the company. And which, in a very Machiavellian way that Homer's usually not bright enough to pull off, does this beautifully, orchestrated it perfectly, signs it over. He's on like a kind of like a, I don't know what you would call, whether he's looking down upon the people, like
almost a pulpit if it were in church.
Yeah, like
a balcony.
a balcony.
I guess.
A balcony. That's the word. People use words.
We tried to church that up quite a bit, but it's a balcony.
So he is up there, and he, as soon as it's signed over, he's like, and thank you, and you are fired. The place cheers, like, and he's like, I think for a second he's going to let him leave with dignity, and then he's like, nope.
Yeah.
Picks him up and throws him to the throngs, who perfectly pass him and just dump him through the window of a taxi that's waiting, just peels out of there.
Yeah.
God, I got a kick out of how unceremoniously he was dumped from the company. And he's like, and they're all for it. They love it.
Yep.
He's on that stage talking about the changes that are going to be made. He's like, I'm about to ascend this crystal staircase. Just avert your eyes. And they all avert their eyes and cheer him on.
And applaud while looking away. Yeah.
So great. Oh, man. And then he kind of realizes it's a lot of work.
Yep.
He's just missing out on shit. You know, he wants to make all these changes.
Missing family time.
Yeah. Oh, man. And I love, too, how Burns, what country are they in, Burns and Smithers?
They go to Marrakesh.
Yeah.
What fucking country is Marrakesh?
Is it Morocco?
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
And he just wants to do opium.
Yep. Just wants to get in on some opium.
Just wants to do some opium. Then I think he realizes, more to life than just hanging out in the desert doing opium. So he...
And that fucking street vendor is just like
everything's drugs.
Everything is drugs. Peels a banana, it's full of fucking drugs.
Yeah.
This monkey and wipes the fur isn't real, it's drugs.
American cash. Our money's made out of drugs.
I didn't know that Morocco had some manner of opioid problem.
I think it's just like a den of sin, kind of like a.
Oh, is it meant
Amsterdam type
okay.
vibe? I think.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what my cultural touchstone for Marrakesh is, but it's not drugs.
I guess I might be thinking more Casablanca too. I guess I'm not sure what I'm thinking of.
I might. What do I know Marrakesh from?
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Maybe the Hitman level.
Oh. So Burns meets Homer, and they just kind of. I'm trying. What's this? How do they first meet?
Burns just shows up in Homer's office.
Is that what it is?
I'm pretty positive.
Well, no, aren't they in a cemetery at one point?
Burns takes him there, yes.
Oh, that's after already being drugged? Because he shoots him in the neck with the tranquilizer dart. Because they think they're kind of
that happens in the graveyard.
Oh, okay. So what leads them to the graveyard then? Burns
wants to take him and show him, and he's given that speech about, like, here's my first wife who I was working too hard for. Like, he comes off as if he's giving him a warning about
of what this job
this job will cost you everything. But then he fucking horse tranks Homer.
And what I thought was terrific, he collapses in the mausoleum of the Burns family. He's like gonna wall them in. I can't think of the name of the Edgar Allan Poe story that's about someone getting walled in like that. That has to be what they're going off.
I have no idea.
God damn it, did we need a feeble Burns moment? And we got
Yes, we did.
He sleeps like a full night after being drugged, wakes up, and Burns still thinking like, scream all you like, you'll never be heard. And Homer just casually steps over it.
As he's brick by brick, like closing up the tomb.
How much he struggles to move one brick
at a time.
Both hands hunched over.
And like the time lapse happens and he's placed maybe 8 bricks. Like that's all he got done all night.
Homer isn't alarmed by it in the least. He just
not at all. Just steps over the fucking wall because it's only shin high. Just like, okay, you can have the plant back, Mr. Burns. I don't want it anyway. And that's it.
So then, Burns, I think, kind of feels like he lost since he wasn't able to kill Homer. But in a roundabout, like kind of about face, Homer's like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I got to miss too much stuff.
I don't want it anyway.
He's like, and then he hands it up back to Burns, who begins his reign of terror once again. And Homer shows up at one of Bart's baseball games. And I think is he maybe the catcher? Pitcher, that's what it is. He throws it inside, and Bart charges the mound. And then it pans back. You realize they're not just practicing. This is an actual game.
Yeah.
There's families everywhere, and they're choking each other on the pitcher's mound. I thought that was a nice touch.
There's a big banner there that says Homer's 305th Everything is Back to Normal Barbecue, which I really liked.
Yeah.
There's great episode. Plenty of Mr. Burns. Not enough, but there's never enough Mr. Burns. I would watch the shit out of a spin-off that is just Mr. Burns.
Just Burns.
One of my favorite jokes in this entire episode, when Homer first gets a hold of that self-help book and he's driving home reading it, and it's like, tip number 1, live every day as if it's your last. And then it smash cuts to him sitting on the curb, frantically crying, going, I don't want to die. Holy
Yeah, you're right. I forgot
shit.
about that. Yeah.
God damn it, that was funny. Oh, man. A lot of fucking good jokes in this whole batch.
Yeah.
Like,
there was nothing that made me. I was thinking I never had a moment during this like I laughed in I think it was the last batch where Marge is concerned about where Lisa and Homer are. So to try to cheer up, Bart throws that bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah.
That I didn't laugh that hard during any of this, but I had plenty of chuckles. And there were very few, if any, instances where I was like, "That's a bad joke. That's poor writing."
Yep, I very rarely had any complaints this entire batch.
So far, I would put season 14 ahead of season 13.
They're all starting to go together in my head.
You know what I think
now
saves,
that I can't confidently say that.
You know why I think I can kind of differentiate, because I'm always the one that does the reading up.
Oh, sure.
So
yeah.
now I think about I get this break, right? Okay, this is the dividing line.
Like, you have bookmarks in your head in a way that I don't.
I would put season 12 ahead of both of these, but I put season 12 way ahead of season 13, but not as far ahead of season 5. I mean, we still got a lot of 14 left to go.
Sure, maybe 14 falls the fuck apart
or
from here
it keeps,
on out.
hopefully,
Who
God
knows?
damn it just keeps a steady pace of quality episodes going.
Yeah, this was my favorite batch as a whole. If you judge all 5 as a whole, my favorite batch in a long time.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Like probably 4 episodes of this show.
There were definitely, well, yeah, it might. Oh, yeah, for me. There was never a run in season 13 that approached this at all for me.
No. This was an outstanding batch.
Season 13 had episodes that were just this good, but they were always, there's so many duds in that group. This has been really consistent so far.
Mm-hmm. Like we've had a lot, for me anyway, in season 14 where it's like, I don't really care about this premise, but there's a lot of very good jokes in here, like dialogue. But this batch had good premises and good the Ned episode where he meets Sarah and Homer takes over the plant. Like big, title of episode, what happens in this one. Good episodes plus good dialogue.
I think that's a good point, because I think there's some of these that I wouldn't think as highly up if it wasn't for the good premise. That it's a good story that keeps me engaged, because there's some of these, the laughs haven't been there for me like they have in the past, but like I'm engaged. There's just, there are some episodes where the premise is dumb or just doesn't fit the theme of the show. It's like, really, this is what we're doing? Yeah. But we've had a lot of good premises so far.
And I really like Tony Hawk as a person, and I like Blink-182 as a band. So that episode had a lot for me.
It seems like it's been a long time. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just freaking, because there's so many celebrity cameos. It seems like we haven't had a lot of just offensively pointless celebrity cameos.
I'm enjoying it a lot. God damn it, that fucking joke out of Ned, that the last thing I bought for a lady was a casket. That is a fucking t-shirt joke. That is perfect.
His tone of voice Just like how casually he drops that. Like,
holy shit,
great.
that was funny.
Yeah.
I was dying. Marge saying I just can't throw the heat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great jokes.
Yeah.
Fantastic jokes in this batch. And that's, we'll hopefully get another hot batch next week, episodes 16 through 20. Is that right?
That sounds right. Just a couple more chunks of season 14, then we're boldly jumping into season 15.
Only a little more, what would you call it? Classic country? What would you call Porter Wagner and Fergal or Fergie, whatever?
Furlin Husky.
Okay, yeah, Furlin Husky. Sure. That might be the most ridiculous one we've done.
It's pretty silly.
I mean, we had to separately record backup melodies in there. Like, oh boy. Only a couple more of those, so enjoy them.
Enjoy them.
All of you.
Drink it in.
Fucking staunch 60s country fans. So 16 through 20 for next week. You can find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. You got anything happening this week? You got any big life shit going on in Nathan's world?
Just, keep it between the lines. Come back in one piece. Come back next week. Listen to us again. Why not? This show too expensive for you? You can't afford it? Don't act like you're better than this. Sit down and listen to the free content we provide you.
I think it's a good product.
We're putting out a good product. We're nice boys. Come back. Come back, goddammit. Tell your friends.
Make it next week.
Force an elderly relative to listen to our podcast. That's your homework for this week. Force someone that can't control their own life, that they have to listen to this. Withhold your grandmother's Social Security money unless you listen to this podcast. We're fucking through playing. I need jet ski money. I joke about jet skis. Now I want one.
I don't. So we only need one.
I want 2 jet skis. I'll have Marlin's jet ski.
Why? You can't ride 2 jet skis at the same time.
I'd have one be like yin and yang. How I'm feeling. Different colors.
Totally not apropos of nothing that we're talking about, but it just popped into my head. If I don't say it right away, I'll forget it. Motherfucking Lansing, Michigan. Enjoying some America's Barley Basket.
Give it up for Lansing.
Of all the fucking cities, like Columbus, Ohio, still fucking just crushing it.
What is Columbus, you angels? Thank
Minneapolis, Minot, but as far as cities outside of the area you and I live in, motherfucking Lansing, Michigan, coming up on everybody's asses real hot.
I've been to Lansing. I enjoy it.
Oh, yeah? I have not.
Went to a wedding there. A good friend of mine got married there once. And yeah, I think it has a good climate. Like, I think it's in a weird location. It doesn't get miserably hot. I mean, it's Midwest, so it gets hot in the summer.
Sure, yeah.
They don't get brutal winters though. So
I've never been.
College town.
I've barely dipped my foot into Wisconsin, much less get all the way to
Home
Michigan.
of Magic Johnson.
Ooh,
there you go.
Right on.
I think that's where he grew up. I know he went to college there, but
yeah, I don't know shit about Michigan, but Lansing, thank you, and fucking tell your friends, man.
Keep it going.
Keep this.
Shove this up those Ann Arbor pussies' asses. Those big
Wait,
university.
Are you saying pussies or asses?
Both.
I don't. Okay, right on.
Pussies, asses, or cloacas. Whatever they got going on downstairs, you cram. I mean, metaphorically, don't cram anything without consent. We don't have to go down that road. Just metaphorically cram this down their fucking mouths to any body hole. Party hole or food hole, whatever hole you want to go through, do it.
Throw the heat, if you will.
Throw the heat, metaphorically.
You like that?
Yeah. We don't need to go to court. That's the last thing. I don't need to be subpoenaed. I don't like to wake up in the morning. I think with court, it's usually early.
I love that's your reason I don't want to go to court, because I don't want to get up in the morning.
Can we do that online? Can we do Zoom for
Can we do
one of
Zoom court?
Our deranged fans murdered somebody on the campus of University of Michigan?
Yeah, don't do that for sure. Just keep listening.
Just please keep
Lansing.
listening. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, you guys. That's awesome to hear.
And Columbus still hot.
We love you.
Still a hotbed.
How about Ireland? Still getting Ireland?
Ireland's still consistent. Yeah,
God,
Ireland
angels.
is still Ireland's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just loving it. So thank you everybody for listening. Tell your friends. You can leave a rating and review on the iTunes. That helps somehow with numbers. I don't know. I don't pretend to know how this works, but do that if you like. Tell your friends, and we'll see you next week.
See you, everybody.